Here we go now. 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 now. Here we go 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 now. go now. Here we 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 go now.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021. Of course, brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro. Hashtag Woke Up Your Fun. And a huge shout out to, of course, our media partners. That's going to be Nemo.tv as we head on to our day number 2 of the group stages, where we're going to witness teams from Group C and D battling out amongst each other. And of course, joining with me today also is going to be Necro. So how are you, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely fine. Just like yesterday, you know, a fresh day, I would say, a fresh start, and of course, fresh groups. C and D coming in. That means not really a lot of known teams. I would say the Clarity are known, and then only much, I would say, the grounders are TUF. We have seen them in the past, you know, TUF especially. They have been playing in the PMCC, also in the NC. So, I mean, of course, TUF, pretty much a well-known, but yeah, let's take a look at the tournament explanation now, and let's see how things are really going to be looking like in the future in the PMCO.
Yeah, I mean, I really would love to do that. And as we can see, we've got, of course, 32 teams participating, out of which only 14 are going to be qualifying for the finals. Why 14? Because we've got 2 invited teams. And, they're quite familiar faces. We're talking about Team I8 and, of course, Team QWERTY. So, of course, it's pretty standard, you know, in the group stages. You've got to play 12 matches each, and then you have 4 matches every day. And today, as we can all see, it's day number 2. So we've got C and D going up against each other. Now, taking a look at what's on the line in terms of money, it's of course the prize pool in front of us, which is of course of $29,200.
Exactly, $29,200. First place, of course, gets themselves $3,600. The second gets themselves $2,000. Third gets themselves $1,600. Then, of course, fourth will get $1,300. Pretty much keeps on descending downwards till 14th and 16th will get themselves $800. But now this prize pool also brings a lot of pressure on each and every single team that's actually playing inside, especially teams like Clarity, right? Clarity, of course, have had a massive name. And take a look at the point structure. Pretty much the same we have been looking at since a long time. But getting back to the convo of the teams, what are your expectations today, especially from a team like TUF? Because I feel like in the past, in the PMCC, I would say, did quite decent, but what are your expectations?
I mean, you talk about TUF. Well, we've seen some good performances coming out from Edgar. But then again, you know, today would be a day I would really love to see what the big guns have to offer. Well, of course, Team Clarity, you know, coming back of the new name, but the same old players we've seen. I think the former players of Team Boblu, I believe. But we'll have a rather clearer picture as we take a look at the squad rosters, you know, the teams that are going to be participating today, and there we have it. So, of course, you've got Teen Wolf, Zibyan, Khan 420, and Dani. Now, we've also seen the players of Team Star, right? So, I do find MK, I think they were known as Team Lost.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of teams have changed their names, of course. Now, coming down, we do see another Portal Esports amongst us, Nocto, Insane Joker, and Adil, 4 amazing players. Let's see what they have to offer. And there you have Team IV Esports. We've seen KSF, and so a lot of names are definitely familiar, but I want to see as to how they perform today.
Exactly. I would say a lot of names are familiar without a doubt from the PMCC. We have seen them, these lads, you know, kind of do really good. Team Frost as well. This name, I would say, yeah, I have seen them in the PMCC as well. So Team Frost, of course, is a well-known team. I wouldn't really say they're that well-known, but yeah, they are one of the underdogs without a doubt. So they are one of the well-known teams out there. Schedule in front of you, lads. Group C and D, pretty much the same as yesterday. First map on Erangel, pretty much second on Miramar, third on Sanhok, and fourth again, ending things on back on Erangel. Now, talking about a team like TUF on the map of Erangel. Now, especially if you take a look at TUF, they like to go towards like the farm split, which is pretty understandable. This is also kind of the drop location of BTR. So, yeah, farm split is one of those kind of drop locations which TUF opts out for. I really want to see how things are going to be looking like, though, because just like how yesterday, some teams kind of, you know, initial matches, they didn't really drop in their main locations. It's understandable because they don't really want to expose it. But I feel like coming back to the fact that this is the second day, maybe they would actually try and directly go for like a full-on try-hard gameplay, because in the past, TUF made it to the spring split, pretty much, you know, group stage, but couldn't really, I would say they actually did made it to the regional finals, but unfortunately couldn't really make it to PMPL, so maybe this is their time to actually kind of get their revenge back and get their hands on that PMPL slot.
I mean, to be honest, right now, Necro, I must say for a fact that yes, TUF is one of those teams that does carry on a lot of experience.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, today is the first day for all these
Yeah.
teams, right? They're playing the first few matches like yesterday. We had sort of anticipated, right? This is where the new teams might also step up. So we have seen a lot of these players this time, however, playing under different banners.
Yeah.
So I really want to see how their team synergy really works out. I mean, are they comfortable with each other? Are they going to be still, kind of messing things up? Because yesterday it was a complete different affair. I mean, we did see a very few of those underdog teams, rather the big dogs, kind of performed really well. You talk about, freestyle. I could not see a lot out of Team Maxed either.
Exactly.
But if you have, teams like NFP Sky, or rather you can call them Team Sky,
Team
they
Sky,
played really well. Even Team Solo, they were also absolutely good. So, so new teams have definitely stepped up. We are seeing a lot of new teams today also. But again, clarity, the debate has to go down there. So they're playing the PMCO. They already have booked their slot for the PMPL. So do you really think they're going to be going all guns blazing this time?
I would say they would actually play one of those games where, you just play for kills. Honestly, just that aggressive gameplay from their side. Because, of course, Team Clarity, past known as Bubblue, I mean, of course, a lot of experience without a doubt. And I don't really need to explain a lot of things, especially when you talk about Team Bubblue, right? One of the most well-known teams out there in the Pakistan region. And, of course, favorite map coming in is that it's going to be their map of Miramar. We have seen them a lot of success, especially getting on the map of Miramar. But without a doubt, I would say, of course, they are going to be coming in full guns blazing. And they're pretty much going to be, starting the day off with a lot of aggression and with a lot of kills. That's what I'm personally expecting, but what do you think?
Which is that one player, Necro, I mean, according to you, has made all the difference for Team Bubblue, ever since he came in?
I mean, about that, I'm really not sure about that because in the past, I haven't really seen kind of Bubblue. Yeah, I did see them in the PMCC, but then later on, I haven't really had my eyes on the Team Bubblue. But on the teams that I really have my eyes on are without a doubt going to be TUF and Team Frost as well. When I was researching about PMCC, trying to dig down deep and get their infos. So Team Frost as well is one of those teams who has kind of lacked in the past, but hey, it's fine. As I did mention yesterday, it's your time to actually come out, full refresh your mindset. It's time to start a new start.
I mean, right now for Team Clarity, of course, in the NC, I did really see Khan 420 making all the difference. Being the newcomer, and he's such a good player. He was sort of the missing jigsaw to the puzzle, and of course, you've got the other players, to step up as well. Team Wolf delivering. You've got Zibian, you've got Danny, every single player. But yeah, of course, I mean, I would really say it again. Khan 420 has made all the difference. For Team Clarity, you call it Team Bubblue, but now onwards, I think they've been sponsored, they're under a new banner. But that being said, let's see how these teams are going to be playing as we head in the first game of the evening. That's going to be played, of course, in Erangel, as the flight path trajectory is heading all the way from Primorsk towards Stalber.
Exactly. Planned flat path starting all the way from south, ending towards South Stalber. Now, this is quite interesting. I would say this is a great planned flat path, unless some teams do want to go towards Georgopol. Then they're going to be having a tough journey getting there. But yeah, talking about teams like NF and teams like TUF, as I did mention, they like to go towards that farm split area. And then even Grounders, they like to go towards Ferry Pier. So I'm personally expecting them not really having that much of a problem, especially inside the game. We never know. Yep, Team Grounders already taking an exit from the planned flat path. And it does seem like that's where they're actually heading towards. But no, instead now, this time they're going towards Primorsk, which is pretty much understandable, which is fine. Of course, a massive city. You can get yourself a lot of loot. On the other hand, Team Frost as well, exiting out towards the Pachinki area. So, I mean, pretty much Team Frost, yeah, it seems like slowly and steadily they're heading towards that Godkar Ruins area. And always, yep, as I did mention, TG, Team Grounders, of course, going towards Primorsk, which is pretty nice, I would say. On the other hand, COB have got themselves a home in Ferry Pier. So, what are your initial thoughts on a place like Ferry Pier? I feel like it has quite a limited loot.
Yeah, it indeed does. I mean, you do not get a wholesome loot for your entire team, so that has always been the problem. So any single time if a team drops off at Ferripier, you do see that split onto its quarry at least. But taking a look at the circle in front of us, we can see it sort of being a default one, nothing really out of ordinary. And we're seeing a lot of action happening around those Gatka grasslands where, well, of course, we've got team modified in front of us. Some bobbing and weaving by the players.
He's just making him run here and there. Bullet does hear him kind of run around, but still, I mean, he just has a pistol in the hand. 4 bullets left. He needs to connect it. Yes, it does. Finally, well, the man falls down. Will be confirmed. The kill will be confirmed as well.
Yeah.
And Bullet, well, I mean, starting the day off on a good note, I would say. Hey, at least you have gone yourself that one single kill. I mean, at least you have already kind of set yourself that pace that, hey, at least we have gotten ourselves one kill. Even though it's like, even though the opponent didn't really have anything to fight back with, but still, I mean, it just gives you like that extra bit of confidence, right? Okay, in the game, at least I do have that one kill. Still, it just really helps out your mentality overall in the game. Take a look at the circle as well. I would say pretty default, just like yesterday how we saw on the first map of Erangel, but now it seems like a little bit tilted to the left side.
I mean, right now, with the way things started off, 3 times never really anticipated that, right? I mean, the way they went off against Modified, they did not have any option. Just this pistols duel, that is what we got to see. And I think apart from those Gatka skirmishes, everyone else has dropped off in their own respective drop locations. Nothing much happening on with certain side, but Zord getting taken down by the players of TUF as Edgar just comes in and sprays him down. So, well, of course, Team Modified did have a good start eventually, but all right.
The buggy tires got stuck into each other. Couldn't really make it out, unfortunately. But yeah, Edgar, I mean, talking about this man, has been really good in the past as well. And well, I mean, in general, in the PMCC as well, Edgar has had a lot of shiny moments. So I do want to see how he's going to be performing, especially considering the fact that this is Group C and D's first day. I do want to see, like, at least the greatness out of these lads. I mean, still never know, though, because as I did say, TUF, in the past, they have went towards far, but this time it really does seem like they have changed quite a lot of things. They aren't really dropping in the place they really like to. Instead, they have changed it up now. And they're pretty much approaching the hospital area. I don't really know why this kind of a drastic shift was being taken from their side. Maybe they do have a little bit of game plan in the future.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the way these teams have been playing, well, it is definitely going to hurt them, you know, in their future points where they're going to be just, you know, trying to take all those fights. But taking a look at Team Frost, so they've dropped off at the Pachinki area. You've got Klaus, you've got Brown, Passive IGL. I remember this one player, and Leo 69. So it's going to be interesting as to how their approach is going to be, because Pachinki Circle, again, this is one of those areas where Team Frost does have a really good footing at. And if they can, you know, get the loot from over here and sort of either take control over the church area, or maybe just go a little bit further and take that squad house for themselves, I think they might just be in a good position either ways. But really, the start of the game, nothing much happening other than that. Now, taking a look at the rather newer teams, we've got crown holders. So, well, they have a claim to be holding the crown. It's going to be really important to see if they can actually do that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, their name pretty much shows that, oh, they are kind of made for greatness here, but crown holder, let's just see how things are going to be looking like in the future for them. But talking about Team Frost and Team Portal Esports, now in the past, in the spring split, they have made it to like the group stage of PMCO, but unfortunately couldn't really make it to the regional finals. So that was really important here. So, but I'm still sure this is where Frost is really looking for vengeance. And a lot of teams, right? A lot of teams, even yesterday, there were a few teams who like in the past haven't really been able to kind of make it to the regional finals, and this is their second chance to kind of redeem themselves. And I'm pretty sure they want to pretty much ace it, right? You don't really want to make sure you're at least having those kind of moments where you completely falter out, or at least some kind of weak moments here. And I feel like in that kind of a case, first day is really important to kind of set the mood up for the future days as well, and also to kind of set the momentum up. If you have a good day, or if you have a good games on the first day, pretty much in the future days as well, you're like, okay, we've had a good day, let's keep on practicing. You know, I'm pretty sure if we're able to do that great on the first day, maybe we are going to be able to do really great on the future days as well. But then here comes some experienced teams, right? In the first day, they just let things kind of slide away. I'm expecting the same thing kind of from the side of Clarity, but as they have already gotten themselves a slot, I'm expecting them to completely slaughter the entire lobby. That's what I'm personally expecting. But hey, we still never know, right? Because if we talk about a team like Bubbloo, they do really like to utilize their position to greatness.
Yeah, and indeed they do. And they've been dropping off at the northwestern Georgia Paul area since forever, right? And they've been really comfortable at that. And this sort of, zone really favors to what they really want to achieve. But now taking a look at Reaper X. So we've got Vampire right in front of us and the other teammates. So a lot of new faces, like I said, we're already getting to see. But not a lot of action has really come down. And, this is one of those circles, right, where usually you sort of expect, the circle to be panning down maybe towards the ruins area. But I do see some scuffle happening around in Pochinki, where Team Frost, in fact, have lost one of the players, and that's going to be Brown.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be that one kind of man being shut down early off. And Frost, I'm pretty sure they're not really going to be happy after that one. So this also means it's kind of a warning for them to actually be as cautious as possible. So I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to be doing, or at least I'm expecting that's what they're going to be doing over here. Also do see the side of TUF pretty much making a rotation now downwards. The circle is pretty much centralized. I would say Pochinki is the central circle, or the central city, I would like to call it as. But teams still, I mean, slowly, steadily, of course, they are going to be starting kind of accumulating. And on the other hand, you also have teams like on the right side, which are still trying to make it inside. And Team COB, they have found themselves, seems like a compound over here. 2-2 split is being made, but hey, let's just see how things are going to be looking like in the future for them.
Yeah, for the meanwhile, they're not going to be, making a lot of noise here and there. We've got Team Modified right beside them. We've got Amish, Hamad, and Bullet. All of them sort of making sure that they get some decent loot, because once, we start that third and fourth circle rolling on, it's going to be so difficult from then onwards, right? So now, as we can see, this is one of those circles, like I was talking, kind of tends to go around ruins or maybe towards Katka. We've seen a little bit of Pochinki here and there, but mostly the outskirts. Now, here we have it, the circle being formed, and again, this sort of has taken a rather, certain shift, and this sort of looks like maybe a Pochinki Gatka circle, but I'm still yet to see if it sort of ends up in those open grounds. So that might get really, really interesting. But Team 1920 and Team 3X, both these teams look to be in really good position right now, with Team Clarity heading towards TUF.
Exactly. Team 3X, they have themselves kind of like a central ground, I would like to say. Same thing TUF is really trying to do here, trying to set themselves up in the center. But I'm pretty sure things are really not going to be that easy for them, or at least teams are going to be making their task way much more tougher than it looks. 1920 right next to them as well. TUF needs to watch out. Airdrop one on the board this time. It's going to be the Groza. I mean, it's a good weapon, but hey, it seems like, I'm pretty sure, I mean, this pretty much the way we are seeing the circle being formed, and the circle is pretty much stacked up fully with a lot of teams, so I don't really feel like going for this drop is a good idea. And that's what teams are really going to be doing. They're not really going to be opting out for that drop. On the other hand, Donnie there from the side of Clarity Esports.
All right.
Seems like a little tagged out, but hey, it's fine. They have found themselves a safe compound. Right next to them is going to be the lads of TUF. Let's see how things are going to be looking like for them, because Clarity, of course, as I did mention, well-known players. It seemed like someone was kind of AFK in the car there.
No. This is what teams are, doing these days. Sit in the car and try to spot out players. So that is one thing. But I was rather really surprised to see Zibian on just that crossbow. So that is really interesting. So of course they do have their PMPL slots confirmed for them, but they cannot really think of engaging with a crossbow, can they? Would you want to see some crossbow knocks? Because I would love to see that, but how reliable can this weapon
No,
be?
of course it's not. It's not reliable, especially I would say in a pro tournament. No, it's definitely not reliable. Considering the fact that each and every single team kind of opts out for those compounds, that means one compound or at least one house and a second house has a decent amount of distance between them. And to connect that crossbow shot onto them, I mean, you will have to lead quite a lot, right? And that's how it really works. And I mean, yeah, of course, crossbow action would be really good. It would be kind of like a salt being rubbed on someone's injuries, you know. You
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't really be happy, especially when you get shot right in your face with a crossbow. I'm pretty sure that the disappointment will instantly be shown on your face, especially if those kind of things do happen to you. On the other hand, though, 3X,
Okay.
oh, yeah, it seems like, well, a little bit of friendly talk over here going on with these lads that are like, all right, how are we going to be approaching the future circles, you know? Kratos
sneaking
was
our
the
way
man. Yeah. On the other hand, though, Frost, it seems like Klaus is already opening things up for him. He's like, all right, you guys have already got our one man down. We're going to be taking your two man down instead. Instantly, kills are being confirmed from their side as well. So things are definitely looking quite interesting on the side of Frost.
Indeed, they are right now. I mean, considering how things have panned out for them, they've already lost one of those teammates. Then now they're getting hurt themselves in a lot of more fights. Of course, the second airdrop is visible in front of us, and that's going to be in AWM. And this is one of those guns we haven't really been seeing a lot of teams picking up. Yeah, I really do not remember the last time I heard an AWM. But now, take a look at this. This is a curveball that we were talking about, right? I mean, again, I'm not really surprised because the circle did take a certain shift, but eventually had to go where it really does. That is towards the Gatka main compound. So this is sort of going to help a lot of teams, especially teams like, well, Clarity. You've even got crown, the crown holders. So even Team Star is sort of around there. But what I'm really excited to see is it going to be an open circle though? If it is, then we're in for a treat, because then it will come down to how many vehicles you have to build up for your cover. So that is sort of going to be really, really crucial.
Look at that horde just moving inside, right? Inside the circle. A splash of colors, I'd like to say. So many vehicles just trying to move inside. On the other hand, though, MOD this time, it seems like, well, they're not really interested in challenging a lot of fights. So they're just going to be, staying back, challenging fights on the edge lines. I don't really personally like to play on those edge lines. Oh, my God, the vehicle is almost about to blow up. Well, he's lucky, I got to say. Passive has managed to find himself a compound in the nick of time. If he was exposed even for a little moment, I'm pretty sure his vehicle would be exploded in the smithy. On the other hand, the grounders, Hasu has found himself kind of a prey. And it seems like he does want to take him out on the other hand, though, but that guy is being really sneaky at this point in time. So Hasu getting impatient. He wants to confirm that kill, or at least he wants to have that knock over here. And Rongar seems like, well, he's not really going to be making his journey that easy. Nate being lobbed in from his side, not really able to make it on the mark. A little bit of short head, I would like to say. Maybe he needs to lob in a little bit more, but hey, a little bit too far away this time. Rongar, you need to find yourself that precision, my bud. On the other hand, X as well, Mukadder has found himself an opening, and here we go. The backup has arrived. Rongar should definitely feel himself a little nice, but Hasu with that precise nade. Instantly, Rongar goes down. Hasu pretty much getting impatient as well. He wants to confirm the kill.
I mean, yeah, Ragnar, at that particular position, he was really caught off guard, and Hasu is going to definitely capitalize on it, and he's going to make sure he gets all those kills for himself. And now, Hasu getting taken down from the back lines, and not just being about impatient, he was way too much in the open, right?
Yeah.
He got too greedy for those kills, and eventually did get knocked out.
And unfortunately, though, the damage has already been done. Ragnar has been knocked out. The rest two lads are still knocked out, though, so FW are in a massive trouble. They need to get themselves, or at least their team, back on their feet, and that's not really going to be that easy of a journey. On the other hand, Arsalan from the side of X is unleashing hell on the lads of Portal Esports. Portal Esports are on a run now. A massive team like Portal Esports are this time on the receiving end, already on such an early fray, I would like to call it. X doing quite a great job, and it seems like Execute, they have managed to kind of shook the lads of Portal Esports away, but they also do realize it's time for them to move as well. So that's what they're also going to be doing. Portal Esports, I feel like they are going to be having a little advantage inside the fight that Execute wants to challenge, but Portal Esports instead, they go for the high ground. Now this exact position, I have seen them hold so many times. They like to go towards that big boy mountain.
Yeah, they definitely do love that, Everest for themselves. But Team Portal, now taking a look at them, yeah, like you said, Nocto having the high ground, but I'm not a really huge fan of Everest, to be honest, because yes, you have a really good position, but at the same time, a lot of teams do know where you are, and the moment the circle shifts away from you, you are so done. But this is one of those circles where Portal Esports can really capitalize if they play their cards right. But at the same time, you've got Team UAG, that's Team TUF, completely pushing in from the western side of things. Now, Team Clarity find themselves in a bit of a scuffle against the players of Team Corp. I really want to see as to how that fight happens. But taking a look at things, you've got Sufyan still in the vehicle. Has he finally decided to step off? No. Indeed not. Now this is where I'm starting to think that I believe he's been disconnected.
Yeah, that's what I said as well, right? I think so. He's like AFK or something because
these days, actually, these days players tend to do that. Stay in the vehicle, and that's like the best sort of mirage created, right? You have someone that's like an illusion created in front of you. I am right there, but I'm not. But Team Clarity, what do they have to lose either ways?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of like they're just playing for the money, I would like to say. But on the other hand, I mean, why did I say he was AFK really? Because when I looked at the mini map, you didn't really see those arrows kind of moving around, right? If he was actually scouting, you could have seen those arrows kind of looking around and trying to spot anything out, but you didn't really see that. On the other hand, Portal Esports now pretty much trying to take a little bit shots on the NF. He was out in the open, and well, Portal Esports, it seems like they haven't really managed to find any damage in that moment, but the smoke was there instantly to kind of provide the cover for the lads of NF.
Well, right now, this is going to be a pretty interesting fight. We've got so many teams closing up on each other, and Portal Esports, they do have a really good spot. But if the circle goes away, like I said, they're going to be in a whole world of trouble. Right now, we've got Park trying to take a few shots here and there at anything that's not still, anything that's moving, he's taking shots at them. Now, we've even got the players of Team Ivy who have been sort of reduced to a two-man squad, but still they're kind of trying to put the fight up. But now, this is where, things get really dicey for Portal, right? Oh. They have to keep their attention to every possible direction. But Virus getting that one cheeky little knock. And the Monto just tapping his A-game away.
Exactly, just tapping it away. Play zone as well. F2D this time. Well, it seems like this game isn't really theirs. They aren't really having that time of their life, without a doubt. The nade, though, oh, it was a smoke. Blooms right into a smoke. COB, well, out in the open, I don't really like the position they have. Asan as well is down lows. That is not really looking that good. On the other hand, Adam is also there. Adam Core. And then you also do have Jimmy right inside the little cartridge. For now, things are looking good, I would say, for COB, as long as they're not really getting flanked from the backside. And it doesn't really seem like they are, but there is one more team in the back lines. That's going to be Clarity. One lot of Clarity has been completely finished, so that's not really going to be a good side. 1920 Raza is going to be the man to pretty much take him down. Now, Clarity, well, there are a three-man squad. On the other hand, you also do see Jigsaw being taken out from the side of Team Grounders. COB trying their best to fight back in the position they have gotten themselves pretty much out in the open. But this also means Adam's position, or the entire COB's positions, is compromised because, as I did mention, Clarity was right besides them, and this is what they're doing. Clarity's right next to them. Take a look at the minimap.
Yeah, indeed, but now we are sort of in a completely different fight over here. We've got 1920 going up against RPX, so, well, few nades and Molotovs being flung over. Just yet to see if anything really connects, as Hasni is going to go in for some sort of a distraction. He's going to create that distraction. Did get knocked out, though, but at the same time, this is where I was expecting his teammates to make advantage or maybe create some opening over here, which they've completely failed to do so. Vampire on pretty low HP, still gets taken down, and Raza, I think he's going to fall, and Reaper X and 1920, I think both these teams have been wiped out.
Yeah, both of them definitely have been wiped out. 1920 got instantly taken out. Unfortunately, the play zone is going to be merciless this time on Raza, getting eliminated on 13th place. On the other hand, you also have CH So many teams, I mean, especially this is the disadvantage, right? Especially if the circle's out in the open, and that's a great spray from Loser. Well, it seems like this time is definitely not the one losing anything, as the opponent team is making lose them a lot of HP. On the other hand, so many kills happening in the kill fray there. And of course, Portal Esports again on that receiving end. Portal Esports, it seemed like this game as well for them hasn't really been one of those games that they're enjoying, or at least they're having a great time playing. Because Portal Esports, they have the high ground, but this also means they're getting they're being the center of focus.
Indeed. Right now, taking a look at things, Kratos might just be the difference maker as eventually gets taken down with Fury. Such nice, good spotting from this lad. But Zobi, look at that guy. He's just proning in any single moment. I mean, if he gets an opening, he might want to capitalize on that. But Loser, he has to give up on his teammate. And right now, ZARAR, without any helmet, he's going to engage in these fights, and just having a level 1 vest, which is almost depleted. I really do not like his chances.
Unfortunately, there are some lads without a helmet as well, and I don't really like to challenge by, especially if I don't have a helmet. With just one bullet in the skull, and you're pretty much out the game. You don't even get a chance to fight back, right? On the other hand, Portal Esports getting completely obliterated, demolished by the lads of TUF. And that's going to be it. Portal Esports getting eliminated. ESP was being knocked out, but it's fine. The rest should be back on his feet anytime soon. So he should be back on. Portal Esports getting eliminated on 11th position. On the other hand, still Team Clarity is alive. That means a big team or a big name is still in the game. Take a look at the circle shift, pretty much out in the open. The only lads that are inside are going to be the lads of Team Execute. So they're definitely going to be happy.
Indeed, they are. I mean, right now, taking a look at how things are happening in this particular circle, it's complete chaos. So many teams around each other, but it's of course has got to be Team UAG, that's TUF, who are going to be making their way inside the circle. We've got a team right in front of them. They need to make sure that they do a decent job in dodging them out, and indeed they have. Now Loser might get spotted any moment, but Z-Boy, well, he's trying to take a fight against the players of Team Star. Apparently gets taken down, but well, ESP, he's on a spree. He's gotten 3 kills for himself, and now 12 kills for Team UAG. Now, if they get a chicken dinner, then this is going to be a massive one.
Yeah, exactly. As you did mention, if they do get themselves a chicken dinner, this definitely can be one of the bigs out there. But Team Grounders now on the receiving end, unfortunately, but they had 2 men alive, and also from that 1 man also being knocked out. That means all the burden or all the pressure is on that 1 last man alive or 1 last man standing. Team Clarity, Wolf is the only man who's actually standing or who's actually prone to the grass for now. Team Star as well. They have lost Zyro. Should be back up on his feet. His teammate is right next to him, but so many mags being unloaded inside the map here. One lad is almost being caught out in the open, but no. Crown holders barely managed to sneak inside the shroud and the smoke and shroud themselves. But on the other hand, Team Star is right next to them. Zyra, as I did mention, finally is back on his feet. Now Execute, as I did mention as well, they do have the center, but this also means they can be center of attraction. Muqaddar needs to watch out from his back. At the same time, he needs to watch out from his sides, and at the same time, he needs to watch out from his front.
Indeed, he has to. And now, I mean, considering this kind of a circle, I really like their chances now. Team UAG, they've got their backlines cleared up. Edgar looking really good, looking really sharp. He's getting some decent number of kills for his team. But at the same time, I mean, well, who's there to stop them? They've got all 4 players alive, and they've racked up 15 kills. Now Eraser from Crown Holders. He's done a decent job surviving for so long. One good grenade can end things up for Team Star, but eventually they're going to be taken by Team Grounders, who apparently are a 2-man squad.
Team Grounders as well are doing quite a great job, but I would still say TUF have a massive advantage inside this entire lobby, because they still have 4 players alive, if I'm not wrong. Team Grounders, on the other hand, as I did mention, only 2 players. Team Execute with only 1, and then you also have Crown Holders with only 1. TUF, without a doubt, have the massive chance, but we still never know. The tables can be flipped out of nowhere, so you always need to be as cautious as possible. Virus's position being compromised. Eraser pretty much know where he is at this point in time. And Eraser, I'm pretty sure he does want to erase Virus out of the game, but he's just waiting for the right opportunity or the right moment to strike. Muqaddar from the side of X finally strikes in, finds himself a knock on the lads of Team Grounders, and this is not really looking good, because the lads of Team Grounders were the only one who could have given a tough fight for TUF to actually win this chicken dinner.
Indeed, they can. this is can be that one player who creates a difference, but I really do not like his chances anymore. Just being the solo player surviving, almost being taking a lot of damage coming in from those grenades, but UAG, TUF. Oh my goodness, look at them, look at the number of kills that they've already secured, and they look relentless, they look so dominating at this particular point right now, as Mukada finally gets finished off by Shapatar. Now Edgar knows exactly where he is, and he's gonna not make any sort of mistake in finishing him off. Now in a 1v4 situation, there you have it. Team UAG, TUF. How much kills did they get for themselves,
Dude,
Necro?
they were fracking out throughout in that late game, so I don't even know how many they got themselves. 19 freaking kills? Are you kidding me? Points of 34 secured for themselves. Overall rankings, #8. Oh my god, if they keep on playing like this, they are going to be in #1 in no time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they've secured 8th spot just by playing just that one game, right? And imagine by the end of today's evening, if they sort of continue this momentum, continue this run, then we're looking at them having a really dominating lead. Now, taking a look at what really happened inside this game, right? It all came down to the circle yet again, and UAG having that higher ground from the western side. They dealt with Portal Esports. There was another team over there. They dealt with absolutely everyone. Now, you talk about the big guns, Team Clarity. There was a sort of, I do not know, absent from the game, because I did not see a lot of action coming out from these lads. But what really impressed us, I think this first game was 100% UAG TUF show, with every single player rising up to the occasion.
Pretty much entered the lobby guns blazing on a good note, and ended on a good note as well. And as you did mention, Team Clarity, Team Bubblue, which is Team Bubblue, of course, but they did really seem absent, but I felt like it was on a purpose. I mean, I don't know why, I just had a feeling. I was like, come on, Team Clarity isn't one of those teams who would just let a game slide away right from their hands. So they're like, all right, it's fine, you know, even if Erangel goes away, it's fine, we don't really care. There's still Miramar yet to come, and this is where Team Clarity is like, we have our flag pretty much there on the map of Miramar, and we're pretty much going to be getting it back.
I mean, right now, considering how things have started off for, you know, Group C and D, I think if TUF sort of gets one more good game like this, I mean, I'm done. I'm looking at a potential finalist who is going to be delivering some good performances.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time they're coming to play, right? They're also known as the Old Guards. Rather less popular team, but still a team that has been always qualifying for the major events, and now they're here to shine. But let's take a look at the MVP. I'm pretty much sure it's going to be Edgar, maybe? Or maybe someone from their team, and yes had to be Edgar. 1154 damage. I mean, massive. The sort of is equal to, you know, teams, a complete team's damage what this player has done individually.
Yeah, exactly. And as you did mention, if this team keeps on playing as consistent as they have in the first match, so I mean, we had a convo about this, right? I mean, yeah, of course, I8 are there in the finals as well. Qwerty's there in the finals as well, and then you also have a team like Team Bubblue, which is Clarity. So I mean, especially if you do have a team like TUF to give that tough competition to teams like Team Bubblue or Team Clarity, as I would like to call them, Team I8 as well, and Team Qwerty. Imagine TUF might just steal it away from them.
I mean, they can, yes, I'm not gonna lie. But Team Clarity, like you said, the first game, the way they opened up, this is definitely not them. You know, one of their players, I believe, you know, just getting disconnected. Their whole purpose in this entire game was try to keep him alive. Now, this is something I really do. Protect the VIP, protect the president, whatever you call them. But this is something we used to do back in the days, you know, when we used to play classics together. And, you know, one of those friends does have those internet issues. He used to get disconnected. I'm like, bruh, I'm there to take you inside the circle. I'll get the victory for you. But that sort of does not really work out in you know, a competitive lobby, and a competitive lobby as such, because, you know, majority of the fights did happen after the fourth circle really kicked in. Right now, taking a look at the match summary, again has to be a complete UAG TUF domination, and Edgar and Thor basically completely annihilating the lobby.
Thor, look at this man. He has like 7 kills for himself. One thing I can definitely say, Edgar has 1154 damage. So Thor definitely stole a lot of Edgar's kill, I would like to say there.
Yeah.
Because Edgar only had 6
He had
kills.
3 assists though.
Yeah, he definitely did have to have 3 assists, but still, I mean, Thor has 7 kills, and I think so he only had like 600 something damage. So yeah, Thor definitely have stolen 1 kill without a doubt. He has gotten himself a stolen kill, but it's fine. You know, we can let that slide away. But with that being said, match ranking in front of your eyes as well. Of course, TUF on the top, getting themselves 19 kills. I would say a banger chicken dinner. Grounder's not really far away though on the 2nd place. But yeah, if you talk about the points, yeah, the distance is decent.
I mean, right now, 34 and 16, they've got double. They've got double than what the Grounders have secured, and even more than that, to be honest over here. Now, the Grounders, again, one of those teams that we do know a few players from their squad. We do see Team Star. I think we did see them in the NC. A lot of players have returned. Few players are new, like Loser, but still 8 kills a game, you know, having 14 points overall. I must say it's pretty decent, right? Now heading on and towards the bottom half of the table, we've got Clarity just securing those positions, but in terms of kills, they were absolutely silent.
Yeah, and as we did mention, this is not the Clarity we know, right? This is not the Bubbly we know. So pretty much on the map with Erangel, they're like, all right, we can let it slide away. We don't really care about it. So on 10th position, you have teams like 1920. I would say, yeah, they had their name in the kill feed as well sometimes, but yeah, it's still, I mean, they were only able to get themselves 3 kills, so total points, of course, are going to be 3 only. Frost got themselves only 2 kills and then 2 total points.
Yeah, I mean, right now, with the way things are, it's still the first game, right? Let's take a look at the Oppo moments of the evening, in fact, of this particular game, and find for ourselves those beautiful highlight reels where, you know, things started off with Modified's Bullet just racing after one of those players over there, and did find him eventually, and Zypha did not really have a good start, but it was not a good start for Team Modified either, right? After that, they got one of their own players taken down, and you know, this is where, you know, Ragnar really sort of messed things up for his team. Then eventually his teammates did come in handy to help him out, and 1920 and Reaper X, I have no idea what these teams were doing over there.
Yeah, but this push from the side of TF was just so well and calculated, I would like to call it, against a team like Portal Esports. I mean, one of the top dogs, I would like to call them, so you need to always watch out, especially if you're pushing against them. But I mean, TUF, the TUF that we're seeing inside, at least in the first game that we saw, they are looking really promising, and I have a lot of hopes from them, right? Especially, man, like Edgar, Thor, they are looking pretty insane, and I would like to see how things are going to be looking like in the future as well. Of course, Solo Esports in the overall rankings all the way on top. Yesterday, we did see them do quite good. I would like to call it as a consistency, because you can clearly see placement points are a lot much more than kill points.
Indeed, it has to be, right? The way they played, and Golden Stars again, you know, 2 chicken dinners, 2 really bad games, but they're still on the 4th spot. But what I really am loving is the fact, the way Team UAGTUF played. Look at them, you know, being in the top 8 from the 32 squads that we have in front of us, and by just playing that one game, they're on the first page, right? One more game, and I think we might be looking at even bigger climbs for this entire team. But again, the Grounders and Crown Holders, they're not really far behind. So I really liked how, you know, these 2 teams have, you know, gotten their points in the first game. And Crown Holders, of course, being one of those completely new teams, they have indeed impressed us.
Yeah, they're definitely trying their best to at least impress, I would say. They're still, I feel like they're still yet to impress, though. But yeah, they are on their way without a doubt.
Considering they're completely
yeah, I would say you are playing really impressive, especially considering the fact that if you're underdog and you're on that first page of the overall rankings, then I would say, yeah, you are one of the promising teams out there. But taking a look at the final page here, you also do have Team T's 2EZ4 1920 there as well, Modified there. COB, we did see them, 3X as well, Reaper X. All these teams are pretty much from the group C and D, and up till now they haven't really been able to kind of do that good, unless 2EZ4, they already playing in the group A and B yesterday. So I don't really know what to expect in the future from, I mean, especially in the game of Miramar, but I'm definitely expecting greatness from the side of Clarity.
I mean, me too. But I really think this tournament is not going to be about clarity anymore. At this point, I've started to realize because again, they're just going to be playing YOLO, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be playing for the prize money at the very max. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading for a short little break because coming right after is game number 2.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021. The Pakistan region, of course, brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro. Hashtag Woke Up Your Fun as we head into Miramar. Now, just before we headed into the break, this is where I was, just speculating to not make things about Team Clarity anymore, right? But again, when you head into the deserty lands over there, this is where, Team Clarity really shines. But I really want to see a back-to-back from UAG TUF. The way they have been playing, I've been loving it.
I don't really know if we're going to be seeing that back-to-back, though, because considering the fact that there are still big teams out there, we don't really know if we are going to be seeing back-to-back. But yeah, they look really promising. Without a doubt, they looked really strong. 19 kill chicken dinner is not really kind of a common thing, right? It is one of those like rare moments out there. So, of course, I mean, TUF have gotten themselves kind of a name up till now. They have definitely impressed us. But, hey, let's just see if they are actually able to kind of be consistent, right? Because in the past, we have seen one of those teams who actually do kind of get themselves a decent amount of points. But then later on, they just completely falter out.
I mean, right now, considering this particular flight path, to be honest, teams dropping off towards those western areas, they're gonna face so much trouble, right? I mean, you talk about areas like El Pozo, you talk about Monte Nuevo, they're going to be so far-fetched. You need to get those vehicles for yourself. But again, I mean, you talk about Miramar, we sort of expect those default circles, which also can be the case today. Yesterday, we did see some things happening around that junkyard area. But what do you predict?
I mean, I would really say this might just be a centralized circle. I would really say this might just be one of those defaults. But, I mean, yeah, I would say it is, like, kind of there, but a little bit tilted to the left, to the right side, and a little bit to the north side as well. So, still, the central part is going to be Hacienda in between, and Graveyard as well. It's going to be kind of those centralized cities. On the other hand, in Hacienda, you do see a team like RP going in there, and then you also have TG in the side of San Martin. So I do want to see how things are going to be looking like for all these teams. On the side, though, Puerto Paraiso is where Star have found themselves a home. I do want to see how things are definitely going to be looking like for them, because Puerto, I would say, is one of those cities, like, not a lot of teams do like to go there, but yeah, there are definitely a few teams who do kind of have their drop location as Puerto, because it's, of course, one of those safest out there. It is completely out in the map of Miramar. Not a lot of teams like to go there. On the other hand, yep, as you did mention, Devil pushing out in the open. I don't really know what kind of move is this from his side.
Yeah, I mean, really, to be honest, just getting that one knock and still managing to push on towards those casino building, that's going to be so much interesting. But till then, I think the revives will, of course, be there. So for Vipers, they are nevertheless still wanting to make the move. Now, this is going to be so difficult for Vipers from here onwards, right? Because UNB and BF have the better of the positioning over here. All they need to do is sort of get that HP back up on one of their players, and after that they could take the fight. But Devil just trading a few bullets here and there, and it's a 3v3 situation right now with a lot of knocks happening. And Ragnar again coming in from the backlines, gets taken down as Deadshot. He's just gonna spray things down up until the point he's gonna wipe out the whole squad. So Team UNBNF off to a really, really good start. And for Vipers, they really need to start understanding for a fact that these are not classics. Even in the Gatka fight, they did something really similar, and again, they've paid the price.
Exactly, but I mean, they did come out on top in that fight. So you did mention they need to understand, Viper needs to understand that these kind of things aren't really kind of the things that you need to realize. This is not just a normal competition. This is one of the top tier tournaments. So you want to make sure you're being really safe in these kind of moments. On the other hand, you also have Zod from the side of Modified. Now Zod does hear a lot of footsteps coming in forward. He does have the Tommy gun in his hands. He wants to find himself an opening, but that's not really going to be given that easily. Zod is making, or at least giving away, quite a lot of footsteps. That also means his position has been compromised. But 3X as well, they do realize pushing Zod means can be an invitation to death just like that, because Zod definitely has an advantage. All he needs to do is just hold down the staircase. On the other hand, when 3X decides to push in, they do know they might just get completely shredded. There is one more teammate alive from the side, or at least next to him. That's going to be Amish, which is right next to Zod.
All right, so Kaizen. Well, we've got to see if you can actually connect those Molotov. Now, I really, I'm kind of hesitant about that left peak Molotov, right? Usually, more than often, it sort of just hits the wall and ricochets right back at you. So he's got to be really careful when he is trying to lob that, because you do not want to be taking some damage which has been incurred by yourself. But Zod is trying to just get a better angle, but still staying low ground is not going to help his cause. Now, Team Modified, the way they've been playing, I mean, they had a good start. Eventually, this is again a revenge time, a face-off. This time, Amish and Zod, both of them present, and Huzaifa, he would want to get a few kills for his for himself.
He was the man who actually got taken off early off, you know, in that previous Erangel game, and pretty sure at this point he doesn't want it. He doesn't want the same thing to happen himself, so that's why he's really playing things out safe here. Kaizen still alive in that little warehouse. Don't really know how things are going to be looking like for him, though. But Amish and Zod definitely do have a crossfire set up for themselves. As soon as any of the lads of 3X decide to kind of come out there, they're going to be instantly shut down. And you also do see Bullet approaching that compound here. I can tell one thing, that Modified, without a doubt, are thinking to push this entire compound, and this is where 3X might just have a lot of trouble. On the other hand, I'm waiting for 3X's backup as well, because it still haven't arrived. And they need a backup as soon as possible. They need it ASAP, and if it's not really there, then of course, problems are going to be knocking their doors anytime.
Indeed, it will be, because right now, taking a look at Team Modified, you've got players, you know, it's sort of a stalemate right now in this particular situation. Now, I really want the players of 3X to be making a movement over here, and Bullet are right out in the open now, will be taking some hefty amount of damage, but their trades have been given onto its Kaizen as well. So, Hamad and Zod, they're going to be finally going in for the push, as Amish will, of course, get that knock onto its Kaizen. But Huzaifa does find out Hamas as a trade-off over there. Now, Bullet also being one of those players alive for his team. So it's a kind of a 2v2 situation. But look at Z-Boy. Where on earth is he?
Oh my god, look at this. The nade is ready. And oh my god, what a heroic kill. At 3X, wow. These two lads. I mean, Kaizen was being knocked out, but I gotta say, Cypher has been doing such a great job up till now. Just completely obliterating the entire squad of Modified. And look at this, one last man's alive. Bullet is going to be the last man, but he's still trying his best to hold on into that compound. But finally, he will be shut down as well. And take a look at Huzaifa, the confidence, the amount of confidence this lad is showing inside this entire fight. It was absolutely insane. Even though he was down on low HP, he still pushed against him and completely kind of put the final nail in the coffin there.
I mean, right now, this entire fight, again, I really felt Team Mod could have done so much more in that particular fight, right? There was no requirement to push in like that. I mean, they were completely caught with their pants down, multiple angles being there, and yes, Huzaifa dealing death from up above, you know, that kind of a jump coming in. That, look at the cojones on that lad. He knew that he could get it, and finally, you know, revenge has been taken for 3X. So, of course, they did lose out on Kaizen though, but again, 4 kills is something that they definitely can live with. That being said, the first airdrop coming in, and it's going to be a Grotza.
It's definitely going to be a Groza here. Of course, the first airdrop on the map. I do want to see now this time, I do want to see at least someone actually going for it, because there's a decent amount of teams right next to it, right? You also do see Team TG. You also do see Crown Holders right next to it as well. And take a look at the circle shift. I mean, pretty much favoring the last that were in Hacienda del Patron, and pretty much there are a lot of teams already in the central part. So all the other teams like TUF, teams like Clarity, teams like Star, and teams like COB, they're going to be having a tough time to actually find their mark in the center of the map or in the center of the circle. So that is definitely going to be a little problematic for them. But UNB, on the other hand, still in Picado. They haven't really left out of that, or it's going to be NF. They still haven't left out of that Picado area, which is fine. Maybe they're still opting loot out, which is understandable. As long as they are getting themselves a comfortable loot, that's what really matters, especially in the map of Miramar, because you never know, right? The zone can take any kind of critical shifts anytime soon. TUF as well getting engaged in a fight against the lads of 3X. 3X already has one casualty on their name, as we did see Kaizen being taken out. I'm hoping TUF to actually have a massive edge over the lads of 3X, but let's just see how things are going to be looking like. Z-Boy, on the other hand, from the side of 3X, well, he has found himself in quite a tricky spot, I would like to say, because he's out in the open, and I don't really know how he's going to be making it out alive from this spot.
I mean, right now, Z-Boy, yeah, I mean, completely agree with you. Look at the rock that he's just being holding up to. I mean, he's going to take a few shots onto its Edgar, but his teammates are right there. Look at Thor. If he sort of gets a better angle onto its Z-Boy, he's basically done. But now Team UAF, alright, Virus spotting out Baba any single moment. He's going to take shots at them, but he's sort of maintaining his anonymity just to make sure that, you know, once they go towards Z-Boy, he's gonna flank them from behind. Now Huzaifa spotted right out in the open, he's gonna get taken down. And even Baba does not have a lot of HP to work around with. And eventually, there you have it, Team UAG wiping out Team 3 times. And this is where they started speculating could have been a really good game, but they've been wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, they did start the kind of map off on Miramar, kind of on a good note, but, well, the good note wasn't really able to last for long because TUF was right there, and they completely just took him out the game instantly. On the other hand, Virus with quite wicked driving, I'd like to say. Finally, he does realize it's down low. TUF are taking their sweet little time to actually make it inside the circle. They've already found themselves 3 kills. Again, I mean, I would say they are on a good note. And as long as they are going to be finding themselves a decent positioning inside the late game circles, I know that we are going to be seeing that domination coming in from their side. TUF, though, their main kind of focus here is to actually be as comfortable as possible, especially when it comes to gathering that loot. Airdrop 2 on the board is going to be the AWM, with of course the level 3 gear and the ATAX. I do want to see which team actually goes for it, because crown holders were kind of close to it. I wouldn't really say they were too close. Yeah, but they still have a decent amount of distance to cover if they actually do want to go for that. On the other hand, UNB, which is NF, they're quite close to the airdrop. They can actually try and go for it, especially when they try to make it inside the zone, or at least in the central part.
I mean, right now, like you said, you know, taking a look at the circle, this can go either ways, right? We can look at maybe a Hacienda del Patron circle, or maybe those hills around it, and that is where it has indeed gone, right? A kind of predictable circle, but now, you know, so many teams are on that southeastern side and the eastern side respectively. They will have to get in, so it's going to be really difficult. Now the graveyard compounds are still up for grabs, so that is one area where teams might capitalize. I really like the pathing for Team UAG TUF. Now they're going to get in, they're going to get that high ground advantage for themselves. The hilly area just southern side of San Martin. So that's going to really help them, you know, sort of get that higher altitude, spot out players from the part of raid. But 1920 in a bit of pickle as they've gone against Reaper X.
Exactly, 1920 now pushing against Reaper X here. I'm pretty sure Vampire does hear that push coming in forward. Vampire, though, is pretty much just hiding inside the little compound. He doesn't want to die. He's not really going to be moving an inch. But hey, he gets spotted out. It's going to be the lads of 1920 pretty much taking him out the game as well. Raza is there. He's trying to scout out the compound as well. He's making sure at least the surroundings are looking clear. On the other hand, Execute Team X, they have found themselves an opening, and I'm pretty sure they are going to be trying to at least work around it for now. Portal Esports, on the other hand, as well. Previous game wasn't really there, but I'm expecting Portal Esports to at least push against the lads of 1920 as soon as they find themselves an opening, and the opening is what they're really looking for.
Well, still, I'm yet to see those shots being taken. Now, Portal Esports, they've sort of been really absent, right? Even in the first game, after having that high ground in Mount Everest, they did not do much. Now Team Frost in a bit of a situation. Klaus being taken out, back to the two last players surviving. It's going to be Passive and Leo 69 against the likes of Reaper X. I really want to see as to how they're going to perform. Brown is on the back lines. I think he's the one anchor who sort of can save them. But does he have enough angle on the players? That's the bigger question. Now, Passive IGL taking such a position, I really do not know why he's done that. Unless and until you're trying to close in on Reaper X, this lower ground position is highly not recommended.
Exactly. This low ground position, as you did mention, is definitely not recommended. Not just this, any kind of lower ground position is never recommended, because the team that is on the high ground, they definitely have a lot of advantage on you, without a doubt. And you don't really want these kind of things to happen. Portal Esports, though, they are quite separated out. We do see that 3-1 split coming in forward. And still, I mean, Momtu is going to be the lad. He does realize there's one more team, which is going to be 1920 right next to them, and he just doesn't know how to react accordingly. 50 players alive, 13 teams in total, and still, things quite looking shaky up till now. Portal Esports, I do like the safer approach being taken inside this game, but they need to realize that they need to kind of cross through 1920 here to actually make their mark inside the circle. And if they want to go inside, that means they will have to fight 1920. They can try and wrap around, but there is one more team waiting right over there for them. And I feel like over here, Team Portal Esports is going to be in a massive world of trouble, because there is one more team right in the front lines. It's going to be the lads of Team Star. They are also kind of separated out, but the problem here is that Team Star are on a disadvantage because they have the lower ground. On the other hand, Team Portal Esports have the high ground, but they're getting shot at from the different angle.
Yeah, they indeed are, but not to having that high ground, like you said, will get that first knock, eventually just getting taken down. And now this fight has sort of come down to a 2v3 situation. We've got Mom2 and Hacker also chiming in, but look at Fury's position. If he sort of can get an open angle, which he indeed has, but he's sort of whipping those shots, is he?
Yep, he's missing quite a lot of shots. Mom2 has thrown out in the open. Finally, he does connect those crucial shots, though. But hey, missed like a lot of times. But hey, as long as you're able to kind of retrieve back, and as long as you're actually able to make things happen. This time, though, he's not really going to be able to get the second knock. Juicy denies it instantly. And Juicy, though, is barely alive on the nick of HP. I'm pretty sure he's going for that confirmation as well. That's what he really wants to do. But over here, Team Star, Anonymous, is still alive. He has shrouded himself in the smoke. Zyro is well alive. And now Zyro, it seems like he's not really interested in kind of carrying forward the fight anymore. Instead, he decides to back off, which is a mature move, I'd like to say. But still, Anonymous getting caught off guard out in the open. Mom2 is not going to let them go away. And how can you forget about a man like Mom2, right? He has been having such an incredible past. Of course, in the PMCC, he was one of the players out there who was in the kill leaders.
I mean, right now, his position, that was horrible, right? I do not care. I mean, yeah, of course, he had his past glory, and he just survived with the whiskers. I mean, his teammates did do a really good job. Had made no sense to prone down right out in the open. And you have those, tingly reflexes, you tend to do so. But eventually, that's quite something that I would never recommend. But Team Frost just heading on towards the players of Reaper X. Well, will eventually get a knock, but gets traded right after. But Venom and Qayyum, it's going to be interesting as to how are they going to fight their own fights over here, as Qayyum does get locked down, and Brown is just going to rampage through all these players. And there you have it, Team Execute. Well, they've gone down.
Execute faltering out the game. Team Frost is going to be the one to actually take him out the game here. 12 teams alive, 41 players in total. Shapathar from the side of Team Grounders have managed to find himself an opening with that beautiful nade. Just want to see how is he going to be able to capitalize on it in the future rounds as well. Crown Holders have got themselves a visual on the lads of Portal Esports. Portal Esports right in the front lines. But again, not really any kind of clear visual to kind of continue the domination or to kind of rain down bullets onto them. On the other hand, TUF, one lad has been knocked out. I don't really know if the rest is going to be there, though, because Edgar is quite far away. And take a look at this circle shift. Yeah, there are definitely a few compounds out there, but to get to that, you will have to go through hell.
You indeed will have to go. There's no other choice but ZARAR. You had a choice and you decided to just burn yourself out. I mean, this is again Team Star getting knocked out at the 11th spot. Something that they would have never wanted for themselves. Now moving on with this game, we've got Nocto being knocked out right in the open. Hacker will of course come in and try to save this lad. Considering how this zone has shifted, sort of looks like an open area. The northern side having those little bit of hilly, you know, just those hilly altitudes for the teams. And now, I mean, Team Clarity have done a really good job surviving for so long. Now, Team UAGTUF, again, all 4 players alive, having already secured 3 kills for themselves, will be spawning out Hasu from the backlines. Did take a few shots at them, but eventually decided that it was too far. But Thor deciding to just push up on a squad, and a squad like Team Clarity. Now, this is a fight that I really want to happen right now.
Yeah, exactly. This is definitely a good fight. Thor does realize there's one more. That's beyond. Lobbed in that nade right next to him as well. Hey, but hey, he does manage to find himself. Look at that. Oh no, Pixel being spotted out. Edgar peeks out in the open. The confidence. Oh my god, with that initial move, Edgar has won my heart. The confidence that Edgar's shown, even though his position was being compromised, still peeks out in the open. He just doesn't care who's approaching him, but finally will be shut down by 420 boy there from the side of Clarity Esports. Well, at least looking quite great.
I mean, right now they took a lot on their plate that they could chew, right? You know, starting off this fight, they were looking really good, getting that first knock onto Zibian. But eventually, the moment that nade was being cooked and it was right delivered on their face, and Edgar, that move, I do not know. That sort of really made no sense, considering he just went outright in the open. Rather, all he could have done was kept himself alive, just staying behind the trees for a little bit longer, dropped a few smokes, tried to get himself out. But UNBNF getting the better out of Brown. Now 2 last players remaining for Team Frost as they are fighting to survive.
They are definitely fighting to survive. On the other hand, 420 boy again getting himself another knock there. NF now, they have managed to find themselves in the opening. Team Frost are in a massive pickle, I would like to say. One man has been taken down. That means there is a lot of pressure on themselves. Ghost is going to be the man to actually watch out for the surroundings. And again, one more lad being taken out. NF is going to be the man to actually be knocked out this time. Max, NF. It's so unfortunate. Clarity is just over and over pressuring the lads of NF. And Ghost now, take a look at the approach he's making, pretty much out in the open. He's not scared of anyone. Clarity, they are trying to confirm the kill, but this time NF are doing a great job utilizing those utilities in the nick of time. The precision is definitely there when it comes to those smokes, but hey, it's not really going to be providing the cover that they needed, because from the front lines, Frost decided to strike in, confirm the kill as well. Ghost being knocked out. He does have that little smoke, but hey, it's going to be fading away anytime soon now. On the other hand, Crown holders as well did try to get inside that buggy out in the open. I don't really know what he was thinking, and Eraser is going to be the man to almost get erased out of the game. But Frost as well from the backlines are getting shot at again. NF, this fight is just like sandwich, right? You do have a team like Frost in between, but Frost are trying to fight back on both of them, in the front lines and in the back lines again.
I mean, take a look at Team Frost. I love them, right? The way they're surviving so long. I mean, I'm rather surprised, but now they have to get inside. Leo69 is just trying to find a few players here and there, but the crown holders have got the better out of the boys from Team Clarity, right? 2 of those players being knocked out. He's gonna, of course, lob a grenade, and if that sort of connects, then that's a really good way. He can get a few kills more, but I think the players of Team Clarity are sort of slowly closing in. Now finally we do witness Team Frost being wiped out, but Dani somehow he needs to make it in to safe covers, or else he's basically done. But the way he's bleeding, is there anyone who's gonna take him, you know, give him a revive? But here we have the boys from Reaper X going after Team IP.
Reaper X are trying their best to fight back, but this time he got caught off guard in the open. And of course, he will be instantly taken down, and it's going to be Hipar, who unfortunately got caught off guard in the open. Husney still alive. He's pretty much taking the rest back onto Hipar there. Hopefully he's able to get it back up, but 420 boy again out in the open. The only cover that he has is that Bucky and that smoke. Flex, as I did mention, one lad was knocked out, but the rest has been stuck. It's going to be fate. But the nade was being lobbed in that direction. I don't really think so. The nade is able to connect until now. But Clarity are trying to fight back. And NF getting turned on pretty much. 420 doing a great job taking down the lads of NF slowly and steadily. They're making them crumble down back on their feet. On the other hand, Team Grounders as well. Again on their receiving end against the lads of Flex. I would say Flex are doing quite a great job, even though they are on the descending side. They are out in the open. The only things they have for cover are going to be the smokes, but take a look at that. They're trying their best to fight back in this moment. Hansi is going to be the lad to actually push against him. Yet, oh no, the last man falls down, and that's going to be it. Daddy being taken down as well, and of course Dr. Fate not really able to make it out alive from that situation.
I mean, Reaper X, well, surviving by the whiskers for now. But UNBNF, alright, they did a pretty decent job, you know, going up against a lot of big teams, but it was all they could do. Now, Zibian and 420, the last two solo players surviving for Team Clarity over there. Now, we've got Team Grounders trying to edge in, and again, Zibian has been knocked out, and 420 is just the final player surviving. Not anymore, as Team Clarity go down on the 4th spot, leaving us with just 3 teams. And of course, crown holders, now they have a really good chance considering how the circle has really panned out. The way they play as a position, I think Hasu might have spotted out Blaze, but he's rather focused on the players of Reaper X. So Hasni and Hipper, both these players alive, have of course seen Hasni in the NC representing test officials. So gotta see, you know, in Miramar as to how he and his team really survive till the end. Can they get the chicken dinner? That's the big question.
Definitely that is a big question. But crown holders inside this entire situation, they have a massive advantage, and that's going to be the manpower advantage. They have one more man alive. Yep. They have one more man alive. And take a look at that. The positioning as well. As you did mention, they do have the circle in their favor. They also do have one of the best covers they can ask for, pretty much. I was hoping that Clarity would be able to kind of seal the deal on the map of Miramar. They did make it till quite far, but unfortunately weren't really able to make it in that final circles. They did get caught off guard out in the open though, but this time Grounders are getting shot at from all the other directions. Zigsaw is trying his best to fight back in this situation, but things are really not going to be that easy as you think. Hasu as well tried to confirm that kill, and yes, finally he is able to confirm the kill onto Hasni. So at least he is going to be a little bit of that should be a little bit of sigh of relief for him. And now Hasu does realize Hipar is right in the front line, so at least with that kind of initial spray, even crown holders I'm expecting, they do know his positioning. That nade is quite close. Yes, it was. Did deal damage, but wasn't really enough. Only 20 damage coming out from that nade.
Right now, crown holders, you know, just having the covers out of those water tanks over there, they're looking so good. Now, Hipper, he's sort of given his position away. I think crown holders do know exactly where he is, but, you know, now they really want to deal with the Grounders. Now, again, Zigsaw being taken out from the equation. Well, Cruel has been spotted out as Hasu. He's trying to put the fight alive, but that's all he could do, right? Now, in a 1v1v3 situation, I really like the odds on crown holders. As long as they do not make any blunders, this game is pretty much theirs.
Exactly. As you did mention, as long as they don't really make any blunders, this game is definitely theirs. And now Hasu again does realize there is one more player in the front lines, but he needs to move inside the circle. And how is he going to be doing so? Because he just doesn't have any cover. Well, far now, it's looking quite great, but the circle, if it shifts away from them, I'm pretty sure problems are going to be knocking his door anytime soon. Hipar being taken out by the play zone. The last man being taken care by the crown holders. And it seems like they are really the crown holders on the map of Miramar, getting themselves that chicken dinner.
Yeah.
And I would say quite a decent victory. Not really, of course, a banger one. But hey, I would say it's a great way to start the day off.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, this is where consistency really comes into action, right? Both these teams, rather Team Crown Holders and even the Grounders, right? I really liked how they played in Erangel. Team Grounders, I believe, had the 3rd spot, and after that, you know, again, top 3 is something that is really going to help their cause on the longer run. Now, considering crown holders, it was pretty simple to break things down, right? The only challenge they had initially was against Team Clarity. They did manage to knock down 2 of their players. Of course, one of them did get those res back up, but eventually Clarity were dealt with by a completely different squad. Now, again, Team Crown holders knew that all they need to do is just stay behind the right cover, and they had those 4 tanks to play around with, so not giving away a lot of position. Again, Reaper X and the grounders were right beside each other, just those little ridges separating them, and once they knew that alright, we can go after the players, once Hasni was dealt with, I think that's where the chances for Team Reaper X kind of slimmed out. But again, props to grounders to put up a good show, or to at least try, and I'm really liking how Hasu has been playing lately.
Yeah, it definitely was, or I would say it definitely had some great moments there, without a doubt. But Clarity, again, I mean, we had expectations, as I did mention, we had expectations of them actually winning the game, but unfortunately they weren't really able to do so.
Yeah.
But hey, crown holders actually coming out on top in that previous game. I would say valiant efforts from the teams, but unfortunately in the end, just because the circle was out in the open, I would say a lot of things actually did went south, and crown holders being the one, they actually had quite a great positioning, right? And they also had the circle favoring them in the late game situation. So I would say that just played a massive role in them actually winning.
Yeah, and of course, the man advantage, right? But, well, the MVP will, of course, go down to Deadshot from Team UNBNF. This player has really impressed us with the way this team played. They've definitely got no fear. So 5 kills, 843 damage. So again, if you have to talk about the big fights, had to be between the boys of Clarity and TUF going up against each other. And well, this time I really did not like the push coming in from TUF. This is where they looked really cocky. First, despite the fact they did not get any knock, they just directly pushed on towards Clarity, and they have to pay the price. Now, Zibian had to play a really crucial role in that one particular fight. But again, the grounders, Zixor, he's doing a pretty decent job, racking up those kills for his team. And the same goes for Cruel from Crown Holders.
Exactly. Match summary in front of you, lads. And UNB Deadshot, of course, we did see this man with the highest kills inside the entire game. Cruel OP again from the side of Crown Holders. He got himself 322 meters. Oh, that's pretty long distance kill, I would like to call it. Deadshot again with the highest damage. You have Hasu with 12 most utilities used, and then you have Hasu again with the maximum assists. Pretty much we can say, right, he did quite a great job supporting his teammates in general, and the grounders, try and get themselves at least towards victory. I would say, yeah, the score has tied up, and well, grounders tried their best to actually make their mark, or at least get that chicken dinner, but hey, they have tied up with the winners anyways.
I mean, they indeed have, right? But, well, I mean, 9 kills, 21-21, it's fine.
Yeah.
But going down, Clarity, well, considering how their first game went, I think this is a good comeback, right? 6 kills for them in terms of position points also. They had racked up quite some more. And Reaper X, 7 kills. So this is where Team Reaper X is starting to look really, really deadly. Team Frost, you got a feel for them, right? Right from the very get-go, they were in so many different fights. And UAG TUF did wipe out the players of Team Modified, I believe. No, I think it was the one that they... Which was that one team? I mean, Modified did get wiped out by...
I think so early off. They got eliminated pretty early off.
Yeah, I mean, UAGTUF went after the team that wiped out Team Modified, right?
Yeah. 3x. They were 3x.
Yeah, 3 times. Yeah,
3x. They were 3x.
Yeah, turning old already. But now let's take a look at the Oppo moments of the evening. And in fact, it's this particular games as we do see these fights. Now, this is where I would really want to see that initial fight. Yes, UNB and VF just being pushed on by 4 Wi-Fi. I have no idea what on earth were they even thinking. Trying to pull off something like that, and Deadshot really was so handy. This is where I would love to see Huzaifa, just taking that plunge. Look at him go.
Yeah,
this is it.
Oh my god. It actually looked quite stylish as well, right? It was just like one of those moments where you do see like death approaching you right in front of you, and you just can't really do anything because you have a nade in your hands. You can't really fight back as well. And Uzaifa as well was really down low. This is where he has kind of shown his impact in the game, right? I mean, and in the previous map of Erangel, he got eliminated early off. Unfortunately, he didn't really have any weapon to fight back with. But in this game, I would say he has shown his impact without a doubt. I mean, he pretty much single-handedly eliminated out the entire squad of 3X. But yeah, things really went like this. Frost as well tried their best to kind of fight back. And this nade from his side, though, he cooked it to perfection, right? And you know, as soon as he lobbed in, it was pretty much going to be blasting it right there. Instantly decided to go back in the cover. That's why he did manage to kind of stay alive. Reaper X as well in the end tried their best, but yeah, again, it just ends back on this note, or ends back on this situation where crown holders got themselves that chicken dinner. 2F, again, if we talk about the consistency factor, not really there.
Yeah, I mean, first game, really good. The next game, they kind of just got overwhelmed, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the only word I can find. You know, you're going up against a team like Clarity. Of course, you do not know which is the team that you're up against with, considering those recent changes where you, where you knock down a player and it shows that he's of so-and-so team name, so-and-so player, and the team name is apparently hidden. So you do not know until and unless you're wiping him out. So being completely oblivious and still, just pushing without any knowledge, I did not really find that good. But apart from that, could not get to see a lot out of Team Ivy as well. And in fact, I'm rather surprised as to why they're not having KSF come online for them, considering how good a player he was when he played for Team Envy.
Exactly, as you did mention, he was quite a fantastic player, but now getting our eyes back on the overall rankings for Viper, as you did mention, quite an aggressive push, I would say. Yeah, well, they did try to their best. In total points as well, I mean, 2 games, the only number I see in their scoreline is going to be those matches played, and the rest it will be pretty much 0. That's so unfortunate from their side. Again, I would say that approach in that first fight was pretty much like us playing a normal ranked game or a normal casual game, right?
Yeah.
This is what we do. As soon as we get the first knock, we're like, all right, just guys, going forward. I've found the opening. It's our time to actually go on aggressive forward. And then later on, you just let the fate decide, right, what happens and what not. This is pretty much the same thing happened with Viper. And as I did mention yesterday as well, especially when you are approaching a building, use those nades, use those utilities, because they're so crucial.
And they did not do any of that, right? Just got that first knock, went heading in, and eventually just got demolished by UNB over there. But regardless, I think we are finally done with our map of Miramar right now. We're going to be heading in for a short little break, because coming right after is going to be the map of Sanhok.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021, brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro. Hashtag book up your fun as we head into the map of Sanhok. I mean, again, this is a map where things tend to get really unpredictable, right? And this is where you would want to see the rather newer teams kind of coming in and getting the win. And talking about the newer teams, I mean, right now only we just got crown holders getting that glory for themselves, and even TUF in the first game were absolutely explosive. Now it all comes down to whether or not a team is deciding to be consistent. We did see the grounders being really consistent. I think maybe a chicken dinner is coming for them in this one, possibly.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, there's a maybe there. We don't really know how things are going to be looking like. Yeah, they are looking really promising, though. They are one of the invited teams, without a doubt. So, yeah, they're definitely looking really promising. But still, we don't really know what to expect, right? I mean, considering the fact, taking a look at the previous game, did quite good. But again, I have been always saying this Sanhok is a map which is heavily unpredictable. Anything can happen, and it's a zone-favored map, right? The way the zone moves, you need to respect it and need to move in as quick as possible. This is where the main problem is, right? On the other hand, I mean, if you take a look at maps like Erangel, right? Yeah, it is fine. You need to move in forward if you actually want to get in the central part. It's not the same thing with Sanhok. You need to actually make your mark no matter wherever you want as quick as possible, because of course the shorter map, I've said this as well, and even if the circle pretty much moves down to the smallest, well, you already have the circles being filled up with a lot of teams, so at least you need to be one of those first teams, I would say, to actually make your mark in those circles.
Yeah, you need to hold that center in that note. We do see the flight path trajectory just cutting on through boot camp, so it's really gonna be interesting to see which is that one team who's going to be making that ballsy decision to be dropping off over there. But right now we do have again Team Star and Team Modify again going up against each other. So that is sort of going to be really interesting, dropping off as far as Cow, and we do not really see clashes right off the bat over there in that position, because look at this, boot camp is empty.
Exactly, as I did mention, the boot camp is completely empty, but NF as well is quite close, so we don't really know if they're actually going to be going for that, because I'm pretty sure when they actually dropped there, NF must have seen who dropped in there and who not. So at least NF, maybe they will be approaching, but still you don't really want to risk it, right? Especially considering the fact that these are the PMCOs. A lot of things are online, of course. The prize pool included, especially a slot for the PMPL in the future and a regional finals as well. But now, taking a look at Team Frost as well, they have gotten themselves quite a decent split, I would say. Nakam and Tambang are the places that they have been dropping in now. I'm expecting them to actually be pretty stacked up on the loot. Same thing goes with Portal Esports as well. They have gotten themselves the Ruins area. UNB right in the front lands, I would say. NF, again, they have dropped in the place where, if you remember, from the region of Nepal, a team like PMCO likes to drop in that region, and then they like to completely loot around that. But take a look at the circle shift as well, completely favoring the island that is on the bottom left.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rather surprised. Now, this is really unique, right? But again, a hybrid circle. And this is where, like you said, UNB, NF, they have a very, very good chance. Yeah. But apparently, they are heading for boot camp. Now, this sort of slims their chances down because, yeah, this might be the best place for you to drop down in the classic games. But once you go to boot camp, coming out of it, safely is a big question, because it's so much out in the open, right? There's no cover for you. You've got those trenches, but teams can get a higher altitude, take you down easily if they want to do so. But taking a look over here, we've got the Grounders having no trouble dropping off solo at the entire Western Island. So they're definitely going to have a really feasty loot. But I really like how Portal Esports have dropped off. So Portal Esports sort of having the similar sort of a gameplay like Team Freestyle displayed for us yesterday. Big names, but we haven't really seen a lot from their side.
Definitely. I mean, seeing a lot. I mean, I would say this is just like, that was just like the, first day, right? And this as well is just like the second day, or pretty much the first day for Group C and D. So I feel like there's still a lot much more to come in the future. But clarity For now, I mean, we expected Clarity to pretty much enter the game like guns blazing. But it seems like inside here as well, they're taking such a safer approach, right? Maybe this is where they are kind of preparing for the future days. Maybe they actually do want to kind of play this game out as if like one of those scrims, right? To try and at least practice for the upcoming regional finals that are going to be here. So Clarity, that's why I feel like, or at least that's my theory behind it. That's why they're trying to play so safe. And as I did mention, Clarity, of course, Bublu is one of those teams who does like to kind of prioritize their positioning, right? That's where they really like to play around. So especially teams who do like to get the positioning first, they are one of the, kind of defensive styled teams.
But right now, like you said, Clarity, this is where I would have really expected them to be, completely just rushing onto it, squads, try and, try to perfect your art of pushing onto it squad, because you basically have nothing to lose. We're going to see them, of course, in the PMPL, but now we've got the players over here trying. In fact, Team Execute. But look at 4 Vipers. Alright, Devil. He is indeed walking into harm's way. And yes, shots are going to be taken at him. And I do not know if the Ronnie pickup truck does have that speed. But either ways, gets taken down by Arslan.
Arslan connects that crucial shot, the final shot right on his skull, but his teammates are there to actually get the rest back up on him. Hopefully they are able to do so, because FW have been having a tough time, which are 4 Vipers. And I would like to say that this is really well needed. And what are you doing? Oh my god, he just stepped out of his cover out in the open just like that. That was such a questionable move from his side as well. 4 Vipers are looking decent for now, but if they keep on making mistakes like those, they will be instantly punished by a team like Execute. Again, moves out though, but this time it's a confidence peak, and it seems like Devil is going to be striking in.
Indeed, he has, but does not really have any more first aids remaining. In fact, did not really have it right from the very start, just playing on those bandages. It's going to be a while before he can get online. So this is the point where Team 4 Viper need to realize that they have no business, trying to force out this particular fight. Just get the hell out of here. Now, considering how they've been playing 4 Vipers, I haven't really liked the kind of a style that they've really opted for. Of course, Devil will get that res back up this time, but Arslan again being taken down. So, well, the boys from Team Execute haven't had a fairly good start as well.
So you did mention shaky start, I would say, from both the sides. Yeah. So these are the team, pretty much this game is well needed, or I would say they are pretty desperate to at least get this chicken dinner in the map of Sanhok, because I feel like over here again, as we did mention, Sanhok is the only map where we can expect like the biggest teams to kind of falter down. Especially on the maps like Erangel, we expect them to actually come in with way much more strategical advantage, especially more than these underdogs. So I feel like teams like 4 Vipers and Execute, they have a massive chance of winning this map of Sanhok. But again, it just really comes down to if they are already going to be getting themselves so much damage being dished upon in this early of a game, that things won't really be looking good. 4 Vipers this time, they do realize maybe challenging a fight wouldn't really be the best of the best options out there. So at least making a mature move, shifting themselves inside the compounds, and then they will decide to challenge a fight.
Right now it's sort of a stare-down competition between those two teams. Now we've moved on and looking at Team Ivy. Now this is something that we need to touch upon, right? Revenge, Faddy, Owlball, and we've got Dr. Fate. So this is where, once the squad rosters were visible, I did see KSF's name. I really thought that he might be in here, but rather has opted to play out, and was one of those players out from Team Envy that I absolutely really liked. But now, considering the zone finally is going to take a shift again towards the southern side. Now this is where, the boys from PMCO Esports will have to sort of play that waiting game, right? Because they for sure know that if things go as it went right now, the circle is sort of going to shrink down towards that ruins area. That is where they absolutely thrive.
So you did mention the circle might just actually kind of shift towards the ruins area, and Yeah, definitely teams like Portal Esports, if the circle does kind of decide to go towards the ruins area, then they will definitely have a massive advantage, including the teams like NF. But again, it just really comes down to the kind of RNG that Sanhok brings in as well, right? You can never know when you're going to get shot at from any other angles, right? No matter how cautious you try to be, at an angle you're looking like 2 minutes ago, there can be a man present after a minute. So you never just know how things are going to be looking like. You might just get third party. You might just get caught off guard while you're trying to make those rotations. Even though you think that the surroundings are clear, you need to always keep your eyes open on the map of Sanhok. You cannot let lose any kind of single moments, right? On the other hand, though, Frost, again, I would say they have found themselves a decent kind of compound or a decent kind of a stop for themselves. But, hey, it's not the time to rest, because there are a decent amount of teams right next to themselves, so they need to watch out, or at least try and go for a little bit more safer approach. But Edgar spots one man out, and Arsenal might just be the one to actually get knocked out again. He has been getting knocked out over and over again, but hey, Arsenal seems like he managed to bob and weave and dodge those bullets away. Edgar definitely not going to be happy after that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty loose prey coming out from Edgar. Now, after the first game, he's sort of been looking really shaky in the way he's been positioning himself, has been looking really uncomfortable. But this was a really good chance for him to, you know, find secure a knock. Now, taking a look at ESP, well, we've got to see if Team Execute can find something for them, but no, rather UAG-TUF deciding to not engage in this particular fight. And I can completely understand why, because they want to have a good run in this one, and both these teams, they will have to get inside the circle, and it sort of really does not meet their objective right now.
Exactly. It definitely doesn't really kind of look, getting inside the circle, yeah, but I feel like it's already like a little late, right? As I did mention, in the map of Sanhok, you need to be really quick on your feet. And it seems like already things have been a little late, but it's fine. Execute can still try to be those guardian angels and try and play on the edge lines, but it just really comes down if there's a drastic shift away from you, then things won't really be looking that great. Now, again, Execute are going to be the lads to kind of just traverse around here and there in the edge lines of the circle, trying to find any kind of info or any kind of piece of info if they can. And look at the main problem here. Venom doesn't even have a helmet for himself.
Ouch. You know,
the loot is shaky.
Yeah, I mean, he barely has anything at all. Just a Vector and an Uzi and one first aid and one booster. That's about it. That pretty much sums up all his loot. Now, we've got the boys from Team Ivy sort of closing in on towards 1920, who haven't really had a fair time today in both the matches that we did see them in, getting taken down early on. They've been looking really shaky. They really need to pick themselves up.
Ivy, they do have a little suspicion, actually, that there just must be someone in the front lines, but still not really sure about that one. Don't really know how to actually react to that. Players are closing in from the back lines. This is where they are getting that go call. Ivy needs to move as quick as possible, or at least they need to be as quick as possible on their feet. 1920 pretty much spotting out the lads of Ivy to make an opening out in the open, and yes, the opening has been found. Well, 1920 pretty much striking hard for now, but they're inside the lobby with only a three-man squad, which is not really looking that great. Ivy, though, striking it back in huge. 1920, one lad being taken out, and they cannot really afford any more casualties, because with that one man being taken out, they're now handicapped massively, because they're only down to a two-man squad. And at the same time, 1920 attracting a lot of bees next to them.
This is where, you know, Team UAG-TUF are going to be going into the push, and it's, of course, going to be Edgar yet again, but one of their teammates, of course, being taken down. Now, Raza, he's going to hold on all by his lonesome, as Thor is going to prepare cooking up that grenade as Kudrat. He's also taken quite some chip damage over there, as ESP might just try to go in any single moment, but Raza has decided stepping out of the compound. No, not yet, as he gets taken down. And that being said, 1920 off to another quick elimination, this time again at the 16th spot. But Team Flex, they're going to chime in, and they would want to cause some ruckus, but Dr. Fate barely surviving over there.
As I did mention, Dr. Fate barely surviving behind that little rock. Modified Amish gets himself a knock as well against the Lands of Frost. Again, UAG2F pretty much striking in hard. Flex being shut down. One lad has been taken down. Dr. Fate trying to fight back in the position that he has gone for himself. But how is he going to be able to do so? Dr. Fate still behind that little positioning he has. He's getting shot at as well. Moves back in the nick of time. Dr. Fate again from the backlines by Edgar. Gets shut down instantly. Dr. Fate still trying to crawl away for his life. Fate, though, he does realize, oh no, things are really looking great for him. Thor wanted to confirm the kill, but Fate does realize, well, he's pretty much gone case at this point. He is going to be confirmed. Yep, Edgar does manage to confirm that kill for himself. TUF, I do like the aggressiveness that they bring inside the game, but sometimes they just get overconfident. But for now, they're looking great. That's all that really matters. COB, on the other hand, though, they do realize Modifier are right in the front line. Zod is trying his best to fight back in this initial position that he's found himself in. Zod, though, is taken down solo at a perfect fight, or I would say perfect utilization of their position. Irfan pretty much wrapping it all the way from the back lines from that rock, and then Ehsan was there in the front lines to pretty much take the lad down.
I mean, again, team modified. Just being crushed down under. Multiple teams now. Well, we've got the crown holders having that high ground. I think Taha's position might just barely be visible. Yes, indeed, he spots out Ahmad as well. But right now, he's got even bigger problems to deal with. And this sort of has been there with Team Modified right from the first game. I mean, they get the first knock, but eventually there's some or the other squad that finishes them off. But this one could nade, or rather a Molotov from Adam Kaur could have been really deadly. But Hamad still staying alive.
As I did mention, Ahmad still staying alive. Modified alive. Till now, Hamad, as you did mention, the last man alive for that squad. RPX on the other hand, so many frags happening on the map, so many max being unloaded. At the same time, TUF as well stepping in against the lads of Execute. Frost as well finds themselves an opening against Portal Esports. Again, Portal Esports hacker being completely taken out of the game. That's going to be such an unfortunate moment for them. RPX, Vampy as well being taken down. 3X pretty much confirmed the kill onto him. And now it's going to be TUF versus 4Wiper. Let's see who actually comes out on top. And it seems like 4Wiper are doing a great job keeping TUF on their knees. But unfortunately now, they also do get third party, which is such an unfortunate moment for them. And it seems like crown holders are going to be the one to pretty much join the fray and third party this entire situation, which is not really a good thing. Because 4Wipers have already been struggling throughout the game, and now they will have to deal with crown holders as well. And at the same time, TUF, two big teams. Crown holders, again, consistency being shown from their side. But on the other hand, 4Wipers, as I did mention, they're quite shaky. This game really is mattering for them.
Yeah, I mean, crown holders, they've done pretty decent, and there you have it. I mean, well, I do not know how 4Wipers pulled that one off, but yes, that was an amazing way to go out, you know, get that final kill. But Team Clarity, apparently, they are making a move inside the circle, and we've got the players of Execute right beside them. We've got the final player of Ivy, that's Revenge, who's just gonna phone in. Has a lot of players in front of his radar, just waiting for the right opportunistic moment to strike. He's seen those players fall, and this is where he can actually go after Qayyum. But when is he gonna take that shot? Maybe possibly now. This is the moment. This is where he should be doing it.
So he did mention this is the moment, and this is where he should be doing it as well, but hasn't done it up till now. Revenge from the side of Ivy. He's taking quite a decent amount of zone damage, but he also does realize his position that he has gone for himself isn't really great. As soon as he steps up, there's a massive chance that he might just get completely taken out, or at least get caught off guard from any other angle. Because the lads of RPX are right in the front lines, and from the back lines, you also have you do have the lads of Execute. Muqaddar is inside the compound. One lad has been taken down. That means Muqaddar should have a massive burden on his shoulder. How is he going to be able to get him back up on his feet? That's going to be the main priority for him. But it seems like for now, teams are looking so unsettled. And same thing went with Frost. Tried to move away or at least try to get the res back on his teammate. But Portal Esports catching that ladder of card, and that's going to be it for that team.
Now, considering Team Clarity, the position they are in, it all comes down to Khan 420 yet again. Irfan, he's definitely going to be wanting to cook that grenade up and will be lobbing out in the distance, dishing out a little bit of damage onto which Dani, who's already knocked out. And the second nade also going in. But Jimmy not at the right HP. This is where I would have really expected Irfan to come for his fallen teammate, but indeed he did not. And Dani, just after getting revved up, just trying to fire a few couple of bullets, making sure if he could actually knock out Irfan in the process. But now this is where Dani, he is going to be the one making the push over here. But Irfan was so well prepared. What on earth was 420 boy doing? Not making any sort of movements, and well, his teammates looking at Dani as he falls down.
That push was so uncalculated. That push was so random.
What was he thinking?
Yeah, 420 boy was just holding in the back while his teammate was pushing all by himself. Like, at least it should have been a push from both these lads, right? Wrapping around from both these sides, and then I feel like they would have been able to find much more success. But then again, 420 boy just playing that entire situation out safe while letting his teammate Dani just die like that. Team Grounders, well, one lad has been taken out. Play Zone is also going to be like dishing out quite a lot of damage onto him. Portal Esports, Mo2 peeks out, gets taken down to such low HP. He's barely able to survive as well, but for now, Clarity, well, that has been taken out from their side. And look at Wolf, he was alive in the nick of HP, but from the other side, 3X as well are getting shut down. So many third party happening on the map of Sanhok, and this is what we expect, right? Especially from a map like Sanhok.
And there you have it. I mean, Team Clarity are finally finding the footing. Even after losing out on Dani, they're right out in the open, going up against 3X Esports as Kaizen is right in front of 420 boy over here. He needs to patch himself up with that first aid, but if a grenade comes in his direction, he's basically done. Well, it takes some quite amount of hefty damage, but somehow managed to dodge it. Can he dodge the second one though? That's a big question. And eventually does find the knock, and Team Clarity are in a bit of a situation over here.
Kaizen again striking in at the right moment when his team needs it the most. But again, Mo2 from the side of Portal Esports being shut down. Portal Esports, big team getting eliminated just like that. Crown holders as well. Big teams faltering down. Crown holders, of course, the winners of that previous game.
Yeah.
This time weren't really able to do a lot of things in this game, though. Star still alive with man advantage inside the entire lobby. They have all 4 players alive. 3X as well, they have 7 points for themselves secured. On the other hand, UNB as well, they have 2 points for themselves. And then Bublu with 9 points. And again, getting third party from the backlines. The Grounders, I'm pretty sure after that one, they're going to be pissed.
Indeed, they're never going to be happy about anything at all. But the way they did get taken down, it was so chaotic right now, considering how the circle has really panned out. Now, we've got the players of UNB and F having really good position. Now, this is where Team Star are starting to fall down one after the other. Now, we've got ZARAR, he's spotted out. Loser will also lose out on his life anytime soon. But Fury goes down to the zone, and Huzaifa still alive over here as Anonymous gets taken down. Now, Star was just a full-man squad. Now, they've been eliminated at the 5th spot, but this is a really good game considering for 3X. Now, the last player, Sebjan, did get taken down from the zone, and Clarity.
Exactly. Before now, UNB and F still are there. Pharaoh down, prone down in the ground. Hippar is there as well, but still things are looking quite shaky for his side. 3X there. This is pretty much the 3 teams live. A stare-down competition going on between these lads. Again, the man advantage is without a doubt on the side of NF UNB. 3X there as well. They have the equal chances of winning this entire game. But in the end, especially we do know these top 3 teams, it just really comes down to the positioning. And this is where the positioning is heavily looking favored in the side of 3X. So they're definitely looking quite great. But on the other hand, though, Hippar as well is getting shot at by such a lot of damage. Unfortunately, though, he will be taking out the game as well. And that's going to be it for Ripper. But on the other hand, 3X quite in the close of NF.
Yeah, I mean, at this particular point, it's going to be so much more interesting. And now, UNBNF really close to their victory. Now it's a 3v3 situation. You've got Pharaoh, leading the charge, but all 6 players are one with the nature. Kaizen stepping out, and any single moment, if he finds Sanhok, this is going to be so deadly. Now Kaizen, he's just kind of trying to rotate around, just trying to adapt and adjust, but taking a look at the circle, it's heavily favoring the players of Team UNBNF.
Exactly, it's definitely favoring, but now the man advantage is not looking good anymore on their side. 3x, finally one last decides to step in, but he gets shut down as well. And it seems like 3x are just looking completely great. The amount of, again, zone control they had was absolutely insane, and this is what actually did win them that game. Zone control, just in the end, it's just so important, and that's what 3x had for themselves, and that's why they're able to actually win that game as well. Team stats, of course, 11 kills, 26 points in total, a decent performance, and a decent pair of points being racked up. That's going to be pushing them all the way up in 13th of the overall rankings.
I would really 11 kills for 3 times. I did not see that coming, to be honest, considering how fights were panning out. It all came down to the final circle fights, right?
Yeah.
The zone kind of went in like we anticipated, just on towards those ruins area, just towards the eastern side of it. Now, this sort of really helped the players of UNBNF. But then again, 3x, I mean, they were getting kills slowly, and we were not really counting them to be the biggest contenders over here. But then again, we have to again point out one thing, that this is the map of Sanhok. This is where, unexpected things really happen, and that is, they went completely all guns blazing, and as a result have won this match. But let's take a look at who the MVP is going to be for this particular game.
Well, and it's going to be Z-Boy from the side of 3x, getting himself 3 kills, 653 damage in total. Survival time of 23, 11, 2 assists, and 65 only healing ton. Well, I would say that's quite fantastic from the side of Z-Boy. Well, 3x, I mean, again, a team, an expected team, pretty much, just striking in, getting themselves that chicken dinner on the map of Sanhok. This is what we expected, right? We pretty much said that this time we're not really going to be seeing any known teams getting their mark on that or getting any chicken dinners. We're expecting those teams that are really not known in the map of Sanhok to actually get the chicken dinner, and this is what exactly happens. 3x, none of us expected 3x to actually decide or to actually have such a great performance in the map of Sanhok, but they do in the end of the day, and they actually do get themselves decent amount of points. On the other hand, COB as well, Irfan getting himself 3 kills, damage of 642, survival time was 1825. Well, in general, I would just say I'm pretty impressed by 3x.
Yeah, I mean, 3x really did pull off some wonders out there. But in terms of match summary, I do see a lot out of the players of Team Clarity. And this is where, a lot of questionable decisions have been made by them, especially that one push by Danny. I mean, what on earth was he even thinking? I mean, again, where was the teamwork over there? That was completely lacking over there. Considering the moment he pushed on, I did see 2 of their players having a perfect flank angle for him, but nobody really came in to help him out. He was just knocked out and finished off before he even realized. Maybe just got too overconfident over there. But either ways, a really good game coming in from 3x, getting 26 points. But Team Clarity not far behind, having the 2nd spot.
Again, this is where the team communication, I would say, team synergy was really seen lacking from the side of Clarity. But it's fun, considering the fact that there's just kind of, up till now, they haven't really been able to show themselves up. And we do know they're just playing this for fun, I would say. I don't even know at this point. But yeah, they're pretty much trying to play these things out for practice, and this is what they're exactly doing. But this is the final page of the match rankings. Take a look at the Oppo moments. I'm pretty sure things are going to be really interesting to see of how things really went down in the map of Sanhok, because I'm pretty sure we missed quite a lot of action there.
Yeah, we indeed did. It was not just us missing out on the action, but in the open moments, we're gonna live them yet again. It was so fast-paced towards the very end that we did not see, Team 3x coming up with that one. But again, I mean, a few teams kind of messing things up, and one of them has to be 1920. I haven't really seen them popping off at all. And, well, modified, the same storyline again. But Team 4 Viper really impressed me, going after it team like TUF and then just taking them down. This is one of those push that it was highly questionable.
For Raptors, I would say when it comes to that confidence, they're definitely there. When it comes to that aim approach in the game as well, they're definitely there. But somewhere down the line, the team communication and team coordination, I would like to say, or team synergy just in general, is really lacking from their side. So maybe in the future times, if they just keep on playing, I'm pretty sure there is a room for improvement without a doubt. But 3x in the end, completely just moving out the lads of UNB and getting themselves the chicken dinner. And hey, overall rankings right in front of you lads. Still, the Kings are going to be Solo Esports. No one from Group C and D is quite close to them. I would say, yeah, TUF have moved in quite close, including the Grounders. But hey, stealing that first spot away is going to be really tough. Yeah, I would say they are quite close. One more game, but I would say, yeah, it would still be a tough task, but let's just see how things are really looking like, right, in the future, because TUF is one of those teams. In the first game, yeah, we did see that consistency coming in through, but then later on, TUF are just not really able to show their mark.
I mean, right now, yeah, like you said, I completely agree with you. The way they started off, I really thought after just that one game they're going to topple, Solo over, but that was definitely not the case. And as we move along, right, a lot of teams have stepped up, out of which UNBNF, Clarity and 3X. These are the three teams that we do see from CND coming in. Now, talking about these teams, right, these are the ones they have to be really careful, because let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, only the top 14 are going to be qualifying, and will be joined by, of course, Team QWERTY and I8 in the finals, which is going to be even more exciting. But so far, what we've seen is few of the teams really trying. I mean, considering how the first two games went for Team 4 Viper, I think the game of Sanhok was much needed in terms of how it sort of instilled that confidence that yes, we can do it as well. And it all started off with Devil getting knocked out, and then he really recovered very well. And after that, he managed to knock down Arslan twice, but we do not know what awaits for Team X or maybe any other team over there. But either ways, now we're going to be heading for a short little break, because coming right after is going to be the final game of the evening.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PMCO Fall Split 2021, the Pakistan region, of course, brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro. Hashtag book up your fun as we will directly head into Erangel as the game has begun and fight for ourselves. Necro, this time, which team is going to get that chicken for themselves?
Oh, I mean, I would say quite a good plain fly path this time, but definitely teams that do like to go towards fair appear. Maybe this time they're going to be having a little problem. Of course, one of those being the grounders. They like to go towards fair appear. And, well, without a doubt, they're definitely going to be having a little bit of trouble there. But NF, though, this time I'm expecting them to actually go towards the hospital side. Let's just see how things are really going to be looking like for them, though. As I did mention, plain fly path was looking really good. But taking a look at the plain fly path, what do you think, so? Where's going to be the circle?
I mean, right now, it's very difficult to come into a conclusion because we also had a similar sort of a flight path yesterday as well. But today, I mean, this sort of a flight path really sort of leads either towards the Ghatka circle or maybe a certain circle. Yesterday, we did have something happening around that farm area. So I'm not going to be ruling out farm circle chances, right? But either way, it's not a lot of difference visible over here with teams dropping off at where they did initially. But this time, I think the boys from 3X decided to head in towards that shelter spot. But again, a western circle, and looks like it's going to be ending at Ghatka again.
Yeah, that's what I'm really thinking for. But one thing we definitely know is that Big Boy Mountain is going to be coming into play anytime soon here. TUF Edgar is there in the clotheslines of Georgia Pool. There is one more team right next to him. If I'm not really wrong, they're going to be crown holders. So definitely needs to watch out from that squad. Clarity Esports, as always, they like to go towards that Georgia Pool Apartments area, as we have seen them do that since a couple of times, even in the past. But again, there is one more team, FW, all the way on the right side. They have managed to find themselves a safe spot in Lipovka. Now, without a doubt, a team like Portal Esports, we all do know they do like to go to those Milsat. That's where they have been going since a long time now. But 3X, I gotta say, I mean, Z-Boy, overall, you know, he has been doing quite decent. But Kazan as well, in the first game, I would say things went really shaky for him. But after that, I feel like Kazan has had a decent performance throughout the game. And same goes with Zayfa as well.
I mean, right now, with the way things are going on, I really want to see, again, a Western Circle. So something that these teams have already dealt with in the first game, right? So they are going to be anticipating the threats that are going to be looming. What is going to be really important is how the circle takes a shift in after the third zone, right? Where does it go? Because the last time, it did have some areas of that Everest. So that sort of became really crucial in TUF getting that victory for themselves. But 3X Esports, I mean, Z-Boy is definitely feeling himself. This time, they've avoided that Ghatka fight against Team Modified, so they're going to be happy about that. And again, the fact that all 4 players are still alive.
As I did mention, the fact that all 4 players are still alive in the game, and good looking. Well, 3X, again, I mean, I'm expecting greatness out of them because, of course, yeah, they did win that previous game of Sanhok, but as we do know, Sanhok, when it comes to Sanhok, it also does bring a decent amount of RNG factor with it. So I do want to see 3X kind of make their mark, at least on a map like Erangel or Miramar. Take a look at the map as well. This is quite a great visual.
Yeah, I mean, this is for the first time.
Yeah.
We're witnessing such a thing. If you could see more of that. I mean, that is something really interesting that I would like to have my eyes upon. Yeah. If the producer could hear us, if he could show that one again. That was so beautiful, isn't it? I mean, you're looking at it from a bird's eye view, and it looks like it's just a tiny box. That's how things are, right? That's how even planet Earth is like. I mean, you try to look at from the space, it certainly looks really small, really minuscule.
Yeah, it looks like a small ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I mean, yeah, getting our head back in the games here. Still, up till now, things are being taken really slow. So, one thing I've definitely noticed, if you do compare Group A and B and then C and D, is like, C and D are way much more kind of cautious, I would say,
Yeah.
way much more defensive than Group A and B, because yesterday we did see, just action starting off from the Bay, but as I was talking about action instantly, we saw a lot of action over here in front of us. It's going to be IV finding themselves an opening on Venom being pretty much striking down with that UMP6.
Yeah, I mean, right now, this is not the kind of a start that Team Execute would have wanted for themselves, but either ways, I think if we can spot down a wall that bull, then that can be really devastating. But yeah, he really dodged that grenade pretty well. But at the same time, the players of IV have just backed off, and Muqaddar, he's just waiting. He's just waiting for any of the players of Team IV to sort of show up, and he's gonna put them 6 feet down under.
It's definitely going to be putting them down under, but Execute again. Venom on the receiving end decides to pretty much back off, but on the other hand, though, that's a great fight from the side of IV. That's going to be rewarding them by so much. Venom, he's going to be so disappointed in himself. It's the second time he's been knocked out in one single fight, and I'm pretty sure Venom is just not getting any chances to fight back at this moment, so I'm expecting him to be at least frustrated after that one. But look at that. Oh, so unfair Execute. You can't really be taking that approaches or those kind of approaches in the game. It can be really devastating for your side of this. What exactly is happening, right? They're able to find themselves knocked, but they're also taking a lot of damage upon them. I don't really like the things that are being really shown from their side. Still being confirmed by the side of Arsenal, and same thing goes from the side of IV as well. They confirm the kill instantly.
Yeah, they do. But right now, Team IV, we've got to see if Atbal is actually going to finish him off. Yeah, he's going to do that. He's not going to flinch. But at the same time, a lot of mistakes were being made by Team Execute, for which they were sort of punished. And I think both these players, Muqaddar and Kedim, had a really good time. They could have created that crossfire, could have dealt some hefty amount of damage, which they simply did not. And now they have been eliminated, and well, Team IV, they've started off in a really good fashion. 4 kills already for their squad.
So it did mention 4 kills already for their squad, but the damage has been done, right? Revenge has been shut down completely from their side. On the other hand, F2D is down low as well, and even another one of his teammates is down low. Taking a look at the circle, but still, it's looking quite great. Still have teams like PUBG Esports rotating all the way from down below, from Milta, to all the way up now till Yasnaya. So that's also pretty interesting. Taking a look at the rotations being made as well. 1920 all the way straight up, making inside the circle. They just don't care about those rotations, right? They don't want to make stuff any more tricky. They straight up go inside. They have managed to find themselves a straight entry inside. And this is where TUF as well is quite, I mean, they're literally on that big boy mountain. They have a massive high ground advantage in that initial situation. Take a look at this push coming in from the side of Clarity as well. A massive team is in a massive world of trouble, and I don't really know what to expect in these kind of moments, because crown holders, they have managed to find themselves a chicken dinner today, and they have been able to do so good, but I don't really know what to expect from their side, especially going in future, because up till now, Clarity, they are completely single-handedly dominating the entire squad of crown holders. That's the one last man alive. He tried his best to fight back, but he gets instantly denied. And Vol, Zibian from the side of Clarity, strikes in when his team needs him the most.
Yeah, I mean, this had to come in, right? This is the exact amount of confidence I would expect from a team like Clarity. Just completely going in, clobbering down crown holders. This is what you would expect from a team of their stature in the PMCO, but Adam Cole somehow does manage to find that beautiful knock, and well, the boys from Reaper, they are completely getting decimated, one after the other. Now, Cortex, we haven't really seen much out of them, but this is their time to shine, as Irfan gets greedy, will somehow manages to get this pick on towards Rafe.
Well, as long as he's able to make it back to safety, that's all that really matters. But again, Clarity having a good day, I would say, finding another knock on some other team. 14 teams alive, 53 players in total. Airdrop one on the board, and again, it's going to be the Croza, the Shredder, as I like to call it, meat grinder.
Yeah, I mean, Groza, this is one of those weapons. Yeah, I mean, I've had many favorites. I really love the MG3, but Groza is one of those weapons that
Yeah.
I would, hands off any day go for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even if I'm having a 5.56 loadout,
Yeah.
because I know the kind of damage, the kind of
Yeah.
rate of fire you get with that little weapon. But
Yeah.
again, coming down to the situation in hand, the second circle, of course, will start to shrink in just 10 seconds, any moment from now on. And this is where the teams would decide to rotate. But now they're enjoying all that sweet little loot for themselves, and they would want to move on after that.
Exactly. I mean, Groza, it has to be one of the best ARs in the game, without a doubt. Because imagine the same damage as AKM, and at the same time, way much more fire rate. 47.9 is the initial damage, and overall, it just has so much more fire rate instilled.
Yeah, I mean, then again, you talk about a weapon like that, given the damage that it dishes out. I really love the weapon. More than the numbers, it's the sound with even that suppressor. But now, taking a look at the players of, for Vipers. Now, this is where, the center of the circle. If you take a look at it, now you talk about Devil being present. Now, the last game really did go handy for them. But
Yeah.
let's see how do they play in this one.
Exactly. Let's just see how do they actually do play in that one. But now you also do have TUF right on the high ground. They've got themselves a high ground without a doubt. And, well, I would say I just want to see how they actually do approach the rest of the game, right? Because, of course, it's going to be quite interesting to see. Portal Esports as well is right next to them. The Big Boy Mountain, we do know. I mean, yeah, if you do get a grip on it, then things are going to be really good. But, I mean, most of the time, the circle doesn't really pan out on that Big Boy Mountain. So the main problem here is that when you do actually want to get down below and when you do actually want to rotate out in the open, that means you just don't have any more cover. You are so exposed, and you cannot really use that many smokes, right? You cannot just create an entire smoke pathing right from the top till below. So I feel like you are so vulnerable, even though, yeah, you do have a lot of advantage with that high ground, but especially leaving that high ground and pretty much try and get back into safety, I feel like is one of the most toughest tasks. And let's just see how TUF manages to execute that.
Yeah, I mean, right now, a team like TUF, this is again that one spot that they've been absolutely loving to play. Now, this is what I was talking about, right? This, the third circle shrink. Heading off towards those George Ball containers, it's going to get so much more exciting. Now, taking a look at the second airdrop, that's the MK14.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this has to be my all-time favorite. Lately, MG3 has been winning my hearts, but yeah, I still love this weapon, right? Just give that weapon an extended quick draw and a cheek pad along with the compensator. You are looking at a meat grinder, but well, this is where things start tumbling down. 40 UF as one of their players has been taken down, and Hacker apparently has his hands upon an MK14. But why was that angle that he's created for himself might create a lot of difference, but apparently UHG TUF have lost out on Thor.
As it did mention, they have lost out on Thor, so going to be unlucky with that one. But hey, Zipion, okay, did spot him out in the open. He tried his best to kind of dish any kind of damage out there, but I feel like he more kind of like dishing out damage. It was more kind of like the suppressing shots being taken. On the other hand, they'll take a look at this aggressive approach against the grounders, and this time they are pretty much going to be grinding upon Portal Esports. They're not going to let them get that kill that easily. Nocto has managed to find one opening. Shapatar is down low as well. The nade is there, but Nocto is just waiting for the right moment, right? He lobs in that raid right next to Shapatar, but he does realize it's not really cooked to perfection. Shapatar does realize this is his right moment to strike in, missing a lot of shots there, unfortunately. And, well, that's going to be it for the side of Portal Esports. Nocto whiffed quite a lot of shots in the end, but hey, it's fine. Portal Esports, they have a big name. It's just the first day, as I did mention, for Group C and D. Maybe we're expecting greatness in the future days, but hey, it's as long now it seems like 4 Viper as well join the fray. Third parties after third parties, and such an unfortunate moment.
Yeah, indeed it was. I mean, right now, Portal Esports just getting knocked out. Even the grounders are really stepping up. And Ragnar, how on earth does he decide to kind of get this vehicle into into safety. But either ways, taking a look at things in hand, we've got the 4 Vipers getting 2 kills for themselves already. But how much more are they going to get for themselves? That's the big question. But even bigger than that, here's the circle going next, as Devil did manage to spot out the players of Clarity. But eventually, he takes some damage, will patch himself back up.
He did mention eventually takes some damage, will manage to patch himself back up there. Let's just see how things are going to be really looking like in the future for them. 4 Viper. Well, the unfortunate moment keeps on continuing for them. I mean, yeah, they did manage to find themselves quite a great third party there. So some frags were wrapped in from their side. But again, they haven't really, they are, I feel like, one of the promising teams out there without a doubt, but the execution from their side is all the time kind of being made really poorly, right? They're not really able to execute those strategies on time, or at least on point. But take a look at this approach being taken from the side of ZARAR as well. Zyro being a little too aggressive there, but instantly gets caught off guard, and F2D will be, and Fatty will be shut down. And that's going to be such an unfortunate moment for Ivy. Big team getting shut down just like that. And I'm pretty sure a team like Star are going to be feeling themselves like loser. He has to be such a key player in the entire squad of Star.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be, right? The way he's been playing, kind of being the new addition to this particular roster. Well, he has definitely contributed. But 1920, you know, playing as a 3-man squad right from the very early days, and all those 3 games. They have been looking really shaky, spotting out one of those players off Frost, and Leo 69 is under heavy fire, eventually gets taken down.
As I did mention, eventually gets taken down. Raza, though, but it's fine, you know, he'll be back up on his feet anytime soon. Team Frost, though, crumbling down slowly, steadily. Klaus as well is going to be the man to actually crawl back to his teammate. Frost are there, the smoke grenades are there as well to make, or at least to create a kind of a pathing for Klaus to actually make it back to his teammates. That's what exactly is happening. Brown as well. Up till now, it's pretty much all the teams, you know, just cluttered up. I would say a lot of teams just cluttered up in those containers area, including 1920 as well. So I would say, what are your thoughts of 1920, right? I feel like when it comes to the execution part, they do it pretty poorly.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, that you need to understand, you know, this game consists of 4 players in a team. You need to have all 4 players coming in with you. And again, this sort of fight has been really good for them. It's all right, you know, 2 kills, 2 points for them. That's good. But they need to start being consistent, which they haven't been doing since the past 3 games. So yeah, this is where I would expect a lot of consistency coming in. And Team Frost, well, you gotta give it. You know, they kind of force a lot of fights out. Now, once you're forcing a lot of fights out, this is where you need to understand for a fact that you need to be able to be winning them out, right? Every time heading into fights and then eventually getting eliminated, being caught off in really bad situations. That's not the way you would want things to go, right? But in a little while, we'll have the new circle in front of us. And, well, again, it sort of looks like an urban Georgia Paul container circle, something that we haven't seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, unfortunately though, we missed one more thing here, is that RPX Hippar's teammate was a little far away from them. That separation was being made, especially if you do realize you're the only 2 alive in the team. I don't really feel like splitting out is the best way to approach inside the game, and this is where a little bit of problematic situation was being created from their side. But on the other hand, I do like how COB is actually approaching this entire situation, right? They are playing the edge lines. They also do have a decent cover, but I feel like when the circle takes a drastic shift away from them, that's when a lot of problems are actually going to be occurring. And take a look at that. That's exactly what happens. Circle drastically shifting away from the side of COB, including TG as well. Zigsaw is the man actually alive. Devil FV as well, kind of far away, but teams that are inside George Pool, they shouldn't really have a lot of problem, but the only problem they will have here is to cross the road and make it across.
Yeah, now this is a kind of a curveball that a lot of teams did not see coming, to be honest. Now, teams like Clarity, teams like TUF, everyone sort of has to make that movement in because, yeah, they're still going to be alive for quite some time because you've got that edge inside which they can thrive. But the next circle shift, I mean,
Yeah.
imagine it takes an Eastern shift that's going to be so deadly. But either
Yeah.
ways, Danny did manage to find a knock onto its Ragnar. But 1920, not really having the vehicles at optimal HP, they will have to resort for the ones that are actually safe, and it seems like they've managed to find one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're really doing here. But still, I feel like this late in the game, when the circle's that small, imagine if you are the only one utilizing the vehicle, and a lot of focus will be on you because you are just making so much sound while the rotation happens. Oh my God, that's a precise spray with just a red dot.
Yeah, I mean, that is something that you would expect from the players, you know, playing in the PMCO.
Yeah.
This is the kind of experience that they sort of put on board. Now, you've got the boys from UAG, EUF, sort of scouring around, searching for any soul that's trying to be out in the open. And 920, they were right heading in, but have been taken in from the back lines, and they're gonna meet their makers. 4-White is also biting the dust as UNB and F. This is their game to lose, and they seem to have a pretty good formation.
Exactly, as you did mention, they do seem to have pretty good formation. COB as well from the back lines. One lad has been taken down. Team Grounders as well. Zigsaw is going to be the man to actually dust or to bite the dust here. But on either hand, you also do have the lads of MOD. And they're also getting shut down. They're also getting so much kind of damage to steal upon them. TUF, I feel like this has to be one of the best games, or at least best games they have had so far.
I mean, considering to the first one, I don't think so.
Oh yeah,
but,
first game, yeah.
Yeah. But
Next
now,
to the first game, but this one is.
yeah.
Yeah.
But right now, going up against Team Clarity, it's going to be exciting. Two big guns going up against each other, and Anonymous has all the time in the world just to tap in through the smoke, expecting to find that one little tracer marker, but hasn't really succeeded at that. But this is it. This is the moment of truth. This is where we see the next circle shift, and home is the circle gonna favor, and it's gonna be no one right out in the open.
Yeah, it's pretty much in no man's land. The shift has been there, but gotta say, in the map of Erangel, TUF pretty much shines in all the time. Even the first game had a banger of a win with 19 kills, and now as well, they're looking quite good. The positioning they have, the way they're pretty much, I would say, suppressing down teams with their bullets, they're looking pretty good and pretty promising, I would like to say that. And if as well, they are pretty much alive. They do have a massive man advantage inside here. Same thing goes with Star. They are looking quite good. They have managed to rack up 5 points for themselves, but on the other hand, though, team like Team Clarity, they have managed to find themselves 10 points.
Yeah, I mean, Team Clarity, well, 10 kills already, 3 players surviving. A really good game going in for the lads, but now they have to get inside the circle. Now, Zon is going to be taking a lot of shots at them, but sort of loses out on his mag, and eventually will find Team Wolf. But what on earth was Danny up to?
Oh no, that's so unfortunate. He did realize the vehicle was about to blow up, but he still goes right next to the vehicle and decides to prone there. And well, of course, will be instantly taken out the game. But
Yeah.
over here, we do have Team Stars locking their eyes on TUF. Now, massive disadvantage in the game for TUF is that how are they able to make it out of that geographical area? Unless they have a lot of utilities, I would say a lot of smokes, and of course they can create a smoke pathing for themselves, but on the other hand, Modified as well, take a look at that, unleashing hell from the lad of NF. Now, he is there to kind of get the rest back on his teammates, but no, instead, they decide to create a smoke pathing for themselves and try and get deep inside the zone.
They indeed are, and now Modified. They're dishing so much damage right from the back lines, and no one's really hurting them. But now UNB does realize they need to create those covers for themselves, and well, Pharaoh. Let's see what is this lad up to. You've got Hamad trying to come in from the bushes. Can he get spotted out? That's the big question, as nades are being lobbed out in his direction, as Hamad finally falling down to Pharaoh.
As I did mention, Ahmad finally falls down to Pharaoh. They also have Ghost, or actually NF. As I did mention, they had a massive man advantage, but now within a blink of an eye, one man has been completely taken down, the second man is knocked out, and his kill will be confirmed as well, so that is definitely not that great. Modified do realize there are a few teams right in the front lines, and F being one of those. Two lads are the only one alive. And then Star as well. They have all 4 players alive. A massive, huge man advantage. You can take a look at this, right? TUF have only Edgar's alive. And on the other hand, NF has only Pharaoh alive. And from Mod, only Zod and Bullet. Where from the side of Star, they have all 4 of their teams alive. But all 4 of their players alive, actually. But hey, now we're down to just these initial 3 teams left. Or these final 3 teams left. 7 players alive in total.
Yeah, it has taken such a really nice twist into the story. Team Star out of nowhere, they're absolutely having such a good position inside the circle. It's a dream spot to be at. But now the players have modified. I really love how they've picked up the pace, right? After having 3 really bad games, now in a 4v2 situation, well, Bullet's position might have just been compromised, but either ways, gotta give it to these lads, right? The way they played it out. Anonymous trying to make a move inside the circle. Will, of course, just try to find a different angle, but Bullet still trying to lob that grenade, and it almost did take down the players, but the second one will be miles afar.
Yeah, second of all falls a little short there, but the first one was pretty precise, I would say. I mean, yeah, considering that was a massive
especially
distance.
that bounce.
Yeah, that bounce. Yeah, exactly. That one bounce and then actually made it back there. It actually did feel like calculated, but yeah. Over here now we do have Team Star again, last 2 teams alive, and it seems like Mod are going to be the last player, or Bullet is going to be the last player standing for their side. But hey, Bullets gets taken down as well. That means the one last man that is alive. It's going to be Zod. He's trying his best to kind of get himself shrouded back in the smoke. Now Zod again. Yep, here we have the lawnmower coming in. The lawnmower buggy loser down such low HP. A little desperate move he made from his side, but hey, it doesn't matter. Star just has a massive man advantage, and they pretty much come out on top as expected.
Yep, I mean, considering how ludicrous this circle had been, nobody really thought who was eventually going to come out on top, but it was the boys from Team Star. I mean, they do have that experience with them, and they've been in such situations, but again, this could have been possibly anybody's game, right? So many teams were sort of the top contenders over here with UNBNF being the biggest one, having such a good spot inside the circle. They kind of really messed things up.
Yeah, they definitely did kind of mess things up, but hey, in the end, Star playing that defensive game, not really aggressing in forward anytime in those situations, even though, yeah, I do know sometimes your hand does get itching. You're like, oh, in some situations you might just push it in. But yeah, Star pretty much held themselves back. They kept on holding their horses, and in the end, that defensive gameplay pretty much came on top, and they actually did get themselves that win. And because of the fact the zone wasn't in favoring them, right? It was shifting out in the open, in no man's land all the time, and still Star actually do manage to come out on top. In the end, just that man advantage coming in through.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, the way this game completely panned out, it was all, again, the zone to be doing a majority of the things. Considering the first Erangel, the only difference we had it was sort of shifted towards up top north, right? This is where, again, I mean, the boys from TUF held on towards that Mount Everest position, and after that, they had to come down. That's where they did take some damage. They did somehow make it to the containers, but that is where things really got dicey for them. They could not do anything else. But taking a look at the MVP, had to be Zibian. 8 kills for this lad. Now this is something that I love to see from Clarity, right? From the first moment itself, the push that they did on towards that one squad house, just wiping out a squad down, and this shows that this shows completely as to how good Team Clarity were. But then again, Necro, the way Team Clarity went off, ouch.
Yeah, I mean, I would really say in the end, honestly, like, it was just a circle, right? It was circle was out in the open, nothing much could be done. But hey, take a look at the top players. Of course, it has to be Zibian from the side of Team Clarity. As I did mention, they had a lot of kills being secured from their side, and Zibian single-handedly pretty much contributing the most throughout the team, getting himself 8 kills. Zibian, of course, has to be there in the match summary as well with the highest kills. And you also have Wolf coming in with 304 this time. We're seeing a lot of long middle kills in the region of Pakistan.
Yeah, we definitely are. 300 is sort of the common number right now. Yesterday, even in Miramar, we sort of did see that. Even in Sanhok, we're seeing some big numbers. And, well, the players are really precise with their aim. And I mean, a player of Wolf stature, he can certainly pull that one off. But yeah, gotta give props to Team Star and Modified. The way these two teams played, especially modified, considering being a two-man squad towards the end, they did really pop off big. But this is where Clarity, gets the highest kills in the server. But that one little rotation did not really work out the way they had anticipated, as a result of which could not get a lot of position points.
Exactly, as you did mention, just because that, they weren't really able to get a lot of points for themselves. And take a look at this, Crown Holders, I mean, had a pretty much fantastic game, right? But then later on in this game, they just completely faltered down with 0 points. On the other hand, a big team like Portal Esports, expectations were a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of expectations from this side, especially having a lad like Mom2, Nocto, Insane, Joker. I mean, tell me, these lads are pretty much one of the best out there, right, in the Pakistan region. And still, Portal Esports isn't really able to show themselves up, which is a little problematic, I would say. But hey, it's fine. Just it was the first day for Group C and D, but they also need to realize that the games are slipping away pretty fast from their hands.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this again, we will have to take a look in the open moments that we do have coming. And even the same for Team Execute. The way the fights really started off for them, I mean, this was an absolute disaster, right? Considering how Team Execute did play that entire fight off, I really did not like the chances. And the same goes for Crown Holders, coming in, winning a chicken dinner, and then just absolutely getting decimated by Team Bob. They did not see this coming, right?
Yeah.
And even after that, Clarity had their own fair share of mistakes. But this is where, look at the grounders. I mean, Chapatar being so confident, just, zigzagging through in those moments, and did eventually just wipe out Portal. And again, I have to say, it hasn't really been a good day for Portal Esports.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't been a really good day for Portal Esports. Like, they haven't really been showing, like, they haven't even had one of those flashy moments, I would say, because up till now, they have been pretty silent. Modified over here, yeah, as you did mention, Clarity got wiped out quite unfortunately. Decided to just go in prone right next to the vehicle. Well, I mean, he did know he was smoking, but still, I mean, hey, it's fine, unfortunate moments do happen. But Modified in the end, they were facing off against Star. But hey, just the man advantage just came in huge in the end. Loser as well was there. And finally, they just decided to completely falter down. Take a look at the overall ranking. Solo, they are the king of the hill. Now, this is where I would say a little problem is coming in from the side of Group C and D, right? Because a target was being set from the side of Group A and D, and Group C and D weren't really able to kind of surpass
cross it over. Yeah. I think this is where a little bit of consistency could have helped them, The same problem that we did witness with teams from Groups A and B yesterday. Of course, that 1 point difference being over there, but look at Clarity Esports, considering how they started their day, where they were completely not looking interested at all, to being almost the second highest fraggers in the lobby, just 4 points shy from TUF in terms of those skills. So again, tomorrow it's going to be really interesting for us. And yeah, for all you viewers, just a quick reminder, only the top 14 teams are going to be qualifying for the final. So that's going to be interesting. You need to stay in at least that top 10 mark to make sure you do have the cushion. But then again, the team at the 10th position, we have BFM with 42 points. Now, taking a look at Crown Holders, 39. So just 3 points high. So cushion? I don't think so.
Yeah, cushion definitely not there. Cushion definitely not there. Considering the fact that tomorrow, I mean, Group A and D are going to be playing in. So I do want to see what they have, right? Because in Group A, you have like big teams like Team Sky coming in through. Then you also have 52 Rage. Then you also have North Esports in itself. And then you also have Quraysh Esports. So they all have been really good throughout yesterday. And especially considering the fact in Group D, I would say tomorrow is the day of big teams, right? You also do have TUF, NF coming in, IV as well. Crown Holders, again, they are going to be getting another chance.
But look at teams like, Freestyle, Max, Portal Esports. What on earth are they doing? I mean, it's going to be so important for the teams to step up, because if this sort of goes on, then I mean, we aren't going to be seeing them in the finals anymore. This is going to be so disappointing. I mean, at one point, of course, we're going to be happy about the fact that the new teams will have would be stepping up. But right now, we've been talking a lot about the teams, right? Let's take a look at the kill leaders, and Zebian being the man who's been shining apparently. 17 kills with his lad, and the big guns from Team Bubble finally stepping up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest, this is what I expected, right? Pretty much a fragging potential from their side coming in inside the game, guns blazing, but still, we did see Bubble kind of showing a lot of defensive gameplay and decent amount of maps, but in the final game, I felt like they finally did step the pace up because they realized, right? They realized, all right, we have been, just playing out kind of a safe war here throughout the day. Maybe it's time to go full guns blazing in, and that's what they exactly did. But in the end, I feel like leader from the side of BFM, he also does have a lot of caliber, but he wasn't really present in the final game, so I mean, the entire squad of BFM wasn't really there. If they were, then I feel like they would have made a lot of great things happen.
Yeah, I mean, maybe tomorrow they could just come in and, go popping off yet again. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally done with all our games for the evening. We're going to be calling it a night, so we're going to see you tomorrow. So you don't forget to tune in then. Till then, take care and have a good night.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.